do by virtue of the handout that I just gave you and the presentation was to really kind of walk you through what I think you can see, and start to mediate what we can do to screen the concerns that the Historic Advisory Board had and that you may have. So that the initial photographs that you see 1, 2, and 3 are photographs that are taken from the street. So the middle photograph, you can see that there's approximately right now a 5-foot hedge that runs along the street, and that helps do some screening. But in the violation photograph that you have in your packet, which was taken inside the hedge on the property, you see more of the work that was done in the back. And the work consists of some landscape tile retaining walls, a bluestone patio, and a 7-foot 2-inch by 7-foot 2-inch 42-inch high spa that sits on top of that patio. So these were all constructed early on, and in July the violation notice was issued, and I had the property owner contact Kathy, write a letter saying essentially, since they had already rented the place for the season, that it would not be available or convenient to go in there and do all the documentation, and would you please be patient with us. So that's why we're here at this late date. And we're of the opinion that if we can, based on even what the Historic Advisory Board said, if you were amenable to this natural to weather board fence in front of the wart, which is what I show on a drawing in terms of the location, what we could do is string up something there if you wanted to go back and look at it, or just have a dialogue about what you want us to do.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go.
Please.
I actually think that proposal will screen what there is that you can see of it, and the shower on the other side, it more or less looks like a fence. I don't have a problem with this application. You really can't see any of it.
What about the line? Very good. Steve?
Are you together?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
I
just checking.
represent the owner.
Yeah, I agree with the comments that have been made.
John?
I think according to the plans here, I would say that the photo taken, photo number 2, right? Is that walking up, does that go to the house on the right or the house on the left?
That is the hedge in front of the
the walkway
17
from-
Lily Street. The walkway
It's on the
is
right.
behind the hedge on the right-hand side.
It's the
There's an
neighbor's.
additional walkway behind the enclosed shower, but you can't see
Okay.
any of that.
Thank you, Tom.
CJ?
I have no concerns. I'd be in support of approval, and I'll make that motion.
Can we add that hole that I looked through, that they add privet to that hole that you can see through? So
They're putting a fence in back of it.
right, but
Yeah.
there's a
Madam
hole.
Chairperson,
Have it, yes.
I have one comment. Should we add to this at the time of this application, the lack of visibility?
Absolutely.
Because it shows a fence there, which didn't get in the picture because of the hedge.
Okay.
That
Can you
covers-
add that to your
covers
motion?
that.
I'll add that to the motion.
Thank you.
All in favor of TJ's motion?
Aye.
Hey,
So a 6-foot-high board fence act as a screen where the wart is, according to the Historic Advisory Board, is appropriate.
Roger that. You're approved.
question.
And submitted.
Mr. Reed, did you have any comments?
No,
Oh, I'm
it's,
sorry, Arthur.
no, I'm fine.
Okay.
As Stephen asked me, I represent the owner, and we simply want to do whatever is necessary to make this right with the HDC.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Keep that for your file.
72 Main Street, exterior lighting.
Were you on that one? Okay, so it'll be me, I'll remind you of our rotation. So
Okay,
me and Jess.
All right.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Steven, how are you?
I'm getting there. How you
It's like
doing?
we spent so many evenings together.
Yeah, jeez. That was for epic last night.
11 o'clock, yeah.
Holy moly.
Planning board. Everything.
No, not yet. A little bit, but
The pool doesn't kick in until September 2020. if it gets
Okay, so
our fault.
72 Main Street. Fixture scale makes these architectural features as such. The contemporary style is not appropriate and should be rethought. Did you,
sir, who's the board, Abby?
the board is Steve, Jesse, Val, myself, and John.
Great. Okay. So Stephen Cohen for the applicant, and I would make two separate arguments for you. The first is that these lighting fixtures, while certainly not historic in nature, are, I think, not inappropriate, because I think if you look downtown, you'll see that it's an area where you have very historic architecture, but you might have international flourishes. In this case, we have a ship captain's house, and these sort of global British Caribbean lighting fixtures could certainly be seen as something that was brought
Did you
in.
just go to design school?
I did, yeah.
Could you repeat that? Was that international flourish?
Flourish, yeah.
Flourish. I'm sorry. I thought I misheard you.
And, you know, in the same way that not everything is Quaker downtown, and I think, so one argument is that, you know, they're a nice little flourish on the house. And the second argument is that really, although I don't dispute that the board has jurisdiction over our exterior architectural features, I would suggest that this board has never, ever, ever ruled on light fixtures or other such accessories. So you do not traditionally rule on doorknobs, mailboxes, window boxes, chimney pipes, not the chimney itself, but exhaust pipes, air conditioning units. You require them to be screened, but you don't approve what they look like. Utility boxes, planters, you know, and other decorative items that are on a house. And in fact, if I put a set of plans on the table and had a bunch of lights on it, you would say, cross those off. We don't want them on there because we don't want them to be part of the approval. Which you all have done dozens and dozens of times. So, although there might be, you know, one or two neighbors who don't like this and have complained about it, frankly, I think it would be a very arbitrary and capricious step for you to take to only exercise jurisdiction to the extent you have it over one house and not every other house on Nantucket
Okay,
in
well
front of
said. Name for the record, I guess.
Jay Maroney with that.
Jay
I'm with Maroney.
Maroney.
The only other thing I would add is that if you look on Main Street, there are actually lots and lots of not historic features. There are skylights, there are air conditioning units, there are, you know, lots of things that suggest that they're not historic in nature, and that they're modern additions to historic buildings. And I think these are certainly nicer to look at than you know, the exhaust, all the mechanical equipment on top of the Met on Main or something like that.
Thank
In
you,
the
Steve.
aisle between St. Mary's
Thanks,
and the
Steve.
hub.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve, are you ready? Are you
Yeah,
on this one?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, go for it.
Comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, neighbor, or
Captain
citizen.
Kuster at 83 Main. I'm not going to debate the process here like the applicant has, because I have personally sat on applications for lighting, and I have submitted applications for lighting. And I happen to think that this whole thing would be a lot easier resolved if the applicant just did the right thing and built with Nantucket in mind. This is an example of adding a flourish on an island that has already way too many flourishes. It's just inappropriate for Main Street, maybe somewhere in Cisco or perhaps Tom Nevers, but not Main Street, you guys. So I support what HSAB has said. I'm one of the only people living on Main Street right now, but I talked to many of my other neighbors who were equally thought that this was not appropriate, and I respectfully ask that they have that they submit something for approval that is more appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Kevin.
as a resident of Tom Nevers, I'm pleased to see that he thinks that these are appropriate for my neighborhood.
God.
And I would just like to say, I would like to correct one thing I said. You actually do approve lighting, but only in commercial and other municipal buildings. So for example, the Stop and Shop parking lot or freestanding lamps or like the schools, in those cases you have approved lighting plans, but I don't believe you've ever approved it on a residential porch.
37 Liberty was applied for and approved.
Oh, God. All right, so thank you. Let's go around the table. TJ?
Not on this one.
I'm
It is
sorry.
Jesse, so.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of experience with lighting, but the one time that I did make a statement about a light on an application, I was told by the chair that I can't do that. That light was on the wall of the house and not hanging from the ceiling. I don't know if that makes any difference, but I'm concerned to start a precedent of lights being part of something if that's something we haven't been approved, and that's what I've been told in the past. And that does not mean I don't think it's appropriate for Main Street. I'm just going by what our board has done in the past from my short experience here.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Jesse. Val, what do you think?
Very well said, thank you. I agree. I have never approved or denied a lighting fixture, and
Citizens comment, I don't believe building with Nantucket in mind excludes lighting from our group. I was about to look it up, but I believe I have read that in building with Nantucket in mind in the past.
Okay. John, what do you think?
This man here on the right said a moment ago that the commission might not have control over lighting because of what's happened in the past all over the island. And he says, and I believe he said that we don't have control. Well, if you look back to your memory box, to Arnold's down on on Steamboat Wharf, you had them lights on the outside the windows for years. Finally, we got them in here, and he moved them to the inside. Now somebody new has the building for use, but we were around. Lighting was outside, and it was controlled by this commission. And I feel very strong about something like this here is architecturally inappropriate. The committee is right in their recommendation is to take it back and fix it, get a proper non-commercial light. That you find that in a French bar or something. I don't know. It's not for a family home. I think it's architecturally inappropriate. It's good reason to deny it.
Thank you, John. Did
I'd
you
like
want
a
to make
view.
a citizen?
No, I'm on it.
You're on it. What would you, I'm sorry.
I'd like a view,
Yeah,
Madam
good.
Chair.
A view?
Yep.
I did put it on it.
You,
was?
did you see? do you
Neither
need-
Val or I.
I
Do you
didn't
need more of
see
a
it.
view than that?
I thought I did.
Yeah, I'd like to see the view from the street.
Okay, well then let's review it.
Because I didn't see it on there.
It was on the view.
it was?
I don't, let me just say, I don't disagree with anything that's been said except for the architectural features. TJ's correct. Lighting fixtures are not excluded. But Val and Jesse are also correct. We typically don't review them, and so is Attorney Cohen, in that they typically are requested there not be on an application. All that being aside, I'd like to take a look at it from the street to see just what we see versus what the picture shows.
I personally
good.
think it's inappropriate, but do I hear a motion for a view?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I have a process question. Do I need to sign it up again, or will that happen automatically because it's a view?
Madam Chair, I can put it on for next week, on the 17th.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I hadn't moved into that particular flourish, but haven't we seen a picture of that before?
Good call.
I don't know.
I mean, what does that say? You can't. It's extremely egregious.
It's very subjective as well, so.
Yeah, and I just think I would just like to see it in context, that's all. And I'm not casually then. not really pleased with it. It doesn't.
No,
seem
no,
appropriate.
it's not appropriate.
Welcome, Linda. What you got?
Just so you know, town council does say that we do have jurisdiction over lights in some situations.
I don't need no attorney to tell me that.
Yeah, it's in the bylaw, and town council's already weighed in on that, which is why we dealt with those strip lights on the,
Oh, right, on the Met.
on Main Street,
Yeah.
and why we deal with the moving pictures in the windows from real estate offices, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, in general, lights out,
But generally, you know, an onion lamp, we don't deal with those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
but
We'd be
now
here.
it's on a
We'd be
video.
here forever. Which is why most of the time you don't see them on the drawings when they come in. The cabana is being held for revisions right off the bat, so we're not talking about that one.
Motion to hold number 3.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
We're holding number 3.
And 46 Easton is being held as well.
Okay. Motion to hold 46 Easton, what number is that?
That's the written at 5. And the only one we're doing tonight is the pool and the hardscape. So John, 46 Easton's going over also? Number 5? That's being held.
Yeah, that one. 5. Hold 5.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
And number 4.
At 3. 3 and 5, John.
Yeah, he's got that one.
Okay. We're gonna hear 4.
1% your
Yeah, 4 you guys have already approved. What changed is that the pool actually dropped further out of sight. It dropped down a couple of feet. We got rid of the fence, which didn't really work well, and got rid of the spa, and moved a couple of walls around and the steps around and put a new walkway in. So that's pretty much it. Almost everything's been approved. It just sort of shifted when we pulled the pool down and took the spa out.
Is the hardscaping right on the property line there?
The retaining wall is because the grade changes between us and the next door neighbor.
But that's been approved?
There were walls there, Romanized walls, and we're turning them into stone, which is none of it's visible because the grade changes a good 12 feet or so from the road going up. So you guys have approved all of this except that we're changing the material and dropped the pool a little bit and took the spa out and took the fence off.
So the pool's already been approved.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you
already
put
in there.
that in here?
The pool's already in there.
No, the one that was approved?
I think I put one in the back of it. It's in the file. It's in the main file.
I wasn't on this, I don't
So
think
is,
so.
is this the approved plan, the Lombardi
Is there a
drawing?
stamp on there?
No.
No, that's the new one. I think I've got the approved maybe in the back. I put it in the file. Walls stayed where they are, except that they just changed composition because there's already stone on the property on the next one.
Any questions on this for Linda?
I don't remember it. I don't think I was on it, so.
I don't remember.
It's been a while because the pool's already in.
um,
It's had a building permit for maybe 4 or 5 months.
I don't really see any elevations on here, so the drive is obviously lower than the pool area, right?
Oh yeah, it's a good 10 to 12 feet below grade, and then it goes uphill, and the pool actually dropped further out of sight, so you don't see any pool. You don't see the walls for the most part because they're dropped down, cut away in between. Then you got a mounded septic between the parking and Winoma, which is another 8 feet below that. So
What is the highest exposure on the retaining wall?
virtually nil from the street.
a pit.
There's a retaining wall where the steps are. You can see where the steps go up.
Yeah, like 5
That's
feet.
probably the one you can see, but again, it's looking straight uphill over the rise.
Has that already been approved though?
The wall was already approved. We're just changing it to stone.
Okay, so we're just here for the,
Material change, the pool dropping, and some pathways and a little patio changed. But it's all up over the hill.
but just to be clear, the retaining wall is before us.
To change the material. It's a fun site to work on, let me tell you.
So, Linda, sorry, it's just confusing because it says proposed shed and pool.
Forget the shed. That's being held. You just put it all in one plan.
So what is the change to the pool?
I
Are
know.
you changing the size of it?
No, pool dropped even further into the ground. You couldn't see it before because it's so far up. It's just dropped, and I wanted to make sure that I covered all the bases. It wasn't visible before, and it's certainly not visible now.
Pictures would have been really helpful on this.
Well, there are some in the front, but
Yeah.
I don't remember what was approved and what wasn't.
The pool, walls, fence, spa, a lot of that's been, it's been simplified dramatically, and a lot of that taken off. It just got too fussy, and it was just too hard to deal with because the grade changes so much up there.
And the retaining wall is what material?
It's gonna be, stone now. Obviously, it's engineered behind it, but it's gonna be stone instead of womanized.
It's confusing though, because every page says something
Do you
else.
have a picture of that stone?
It's just round fieldstone.
But it's not.
Oh, it's dry laid,
square,
dry laid fieldstone.
Like,
Shaped like this.
yeah, the.
Yeah,
the
this standard dry laid.
Pennsylvania stuff?
Yeah.
What is that called, Jesse? The flat stone? The Pennsylvania?
Stacked.
You know, that's stacked where it's,
That's one of them, yeah, they're all Pennsylvania stuff, but the Pennsylvania fieldstone, colonial fieldstone, stacked stone.
Stacked stone.
all right, what's the feeling?
There's no visibility anyway, most of it. It's just so
view?
up there.
No, I don't want a view, I just,
No,
I'm
they viewed it when they did
frustrated
the pool.
because there's a shed here and that's not part of the application, but it's part of the screening.
No, that's, yeah, that's, he
He's
put it
got
all in
too much
one.
crap on here.
I know, and it's simpler, it should have seen it before I put it in. And that's why I color coded it.
It's not the shed, it's not
I
the
have a question
pool.
about the limited visibility from the road at the bottom of the plan. What's blocking, I mean, is there trees or what is there?
No, the grade change is so significant and the mounted septic in front of it, and everything's below grade beyond it.
Mhm.
So there's no possible way of seeing anything up there.
So the perspective doesn't allow it from the road, you're saying?
Yeah, you can't even see it. Certainly can't see the pool, that's why they approved it.
This is a revision to a previous SAR.
Yeah, well, they didn't include all the walkways, Val, which is why I put it all on one plan.
Sorry, Linda, is the pool, if you take away the shed, isn't the pool exposed to the
Nope,
driveway and the?
it's too far up the hill and too set down into the grade. It dropped into the grade.
This house right here. Elevation of the road is 36, elevation of the pool is 46 to 48.
Yeah,
And they dropped it in.
yep, it's even further on
10 feet
it.
above, and then it scoops.
Yeah.
And it dips down at the high point. The pool recesses in at the high point.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I can't stand that.
If nobody else wants to speak, I'd make a motion.
John, do you have, John? What is your feeling, John? McLaughlin? No comment?
He's folded up.
Val?
I guess it's okay. I'm gonna put on the, approval. This does not include the shed or the cabana.
Oh, it's just the cabana. There's no shed.
But do you see why it's confusing? So I need to say that. No shed.
Yeah, no, it's already on the agenda separately.
Linda, on the plans that
I
we
know.
stamped,
This is just a hardscape plan. So just say, just a hardscaping.
Are you doing an exhibit A? Or what are you doing?
I'll just write it on the thing.
Yeah. We're only after hardscape here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would make a motion, I'll do that. So,
Please.
make a motion to approve with the, stipulation that the pool remain, invisible from public view,
Traveled way.
time of inspection and perpetuity. And furthermore, that it's notable that the cabana is under a separate application
Yep.
and not considered in this.
Yep.
approval.
That's nice.
And
Okay.
the language, guys, is traveled way, not public view and not public way. It's traveled way in the
We can call it
law.
traveled way.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Because that's
Screen
got legal.
in perpetuity from a
Up on
travel.
traveled way.
What is this yellow line?
One of the retaining walls.
No, I mean the plants, what sort of plant is that?
Like grasses.
Probably grasses, because it's coming off the mounded septic.
Well, well, you're saying in perpetuity that they cannot be seen.
You can't see the pool anyway, Abby, it's 2 feet below that. And it's 14 feet above the road.
Based on the topography, I don't think that.
You can't see it anyway.
Material is gonna make any difference to us.
Well,
Yeah.
we do have that caveat in it,
Yeah.
that it can't be seen.
Yeah, not visible from a traveled way, got it.
Okay, all in favor of TJ's motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Reluctantly.
Madam Chair, who was on that? Part?
Oh, Jesse and TJ.
TJ, Val, and John.
John.
Okay.
And myself.
Okey dokey, guys. Have a nice weekend.
You as well.
See y'all next week. More fun and games.
Wait,
Number 5 was a hold, we're on number 6.
Yep.
Okay, that passed, so, where are we?
You're on number 6, Steve.
13
No,
Hawthorne
she's not
Lane.
on it. She's not on it. The owner's coming up. Well, thank you.
oh, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay,
Demo is the whole, right?
this is exhibit A.
Are you Steve?
Okay.
I am Steve
Stephen Malo?
Melo, yes.
Welcome.
Bravo.
Hi, John.
Welcome to the HTC.
Where you been?
Hello there. Welcome. 13.
Beekeeper?
6.
No. Looks like it.
Would you like to, what's your name for the record, first of all?
Steve Melo.
Steve Malo. And what are you proposing?
I'm proposing to obtain a permit for a hoop tent. And also requesting a permit to move a trailer off the lot.
Move the hoop tent.
Clarification, Madam Chair, the trailer has been approved on
Closer to
consent.
the road.
We demoed on the dock.
There's a storage container.
Just the hoop.
Oh,
The trailer's
that's
gone.
moving here, not
trailer's
this moving
all
there.
set.
But it's, the trailer,
Oh,
Kathy, you said the trailer is on
Get rid of
consent?
that.
Yeah, we demoed on the dock.
This one, do you-
Demo
what if we
moved
just
up.
put privet here?
Okay,
okay, so, but I think the concern is that this is gonna be seen because the trailer can be seen. Is that right?
Yes.
It can't be seen, yes.
is this a
Well, the trailer
seasonal?
can be seen.
That's why I said it
Oh, yeah,
can
yeah,
be
yeah.
seen, yes.
So are you gonna put anything in front of it?
Maybe a vehicle.
Vehicle. Is this a seasonal or is this going to be all year round?
Temporary?
This is year round,
Year round.
35
Yeah,
years.
you gotta screen it.
Yeah.
It's a private way.
It's a public way, traveled way.
It's a private road. It's a dead end.
So our purview, Stephen, is, even if it's a private way, if it's publicly traveled, so they're, just so you're clear on that, and that's where the concern comes up, that it be screened somehow. Can you orient this on the site so that you might be able to put a 5 or 6 privet on the road side of it? So that can be
I
screened
could possibly put them right in front of the,
on the, towards the
tent.
road side?
no, because it's a driveway.
This is driveway. This is driveway.
So you're looking for access to the hoop tent from the driveway, but you're not driving into it?
I'm not driving into the hoop tent, that's
So-
correct.
So just to, Madam Chair, if you'll indulge me, I'm just trying to move this along. If this represented the hoop tent and the scribble represented the privet, could you do that? So at the end of the drive,
Hoop tent in front of it, here.
right, so the trailer's gone, that's the hoop tent. At the end of the driveway, put some privet, you still have access from the drive?
I could do that.
Okay, so
Continue.
does anyone have concerns or can I make a motion?
You can if it's screened, sure.
Yeah, so I'd make a motion that there would be privet at the end of the driveway, screening the hoop tent, and the hoop tent would be located behind the screening. For Exhibit A.
All in favor of Steve's motion?
Aye.
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 Thanks for coming.
Thank
Thank you.
I just, it's a
Is
nut.
this an exhibit A? Yeah.
Get rid of that
Okay.
storage.
Yeah, that was a win.
I saw a rabbit hole
Thank
And
you.
you squirreled in there.
and I plugged it.
Yeah. Okay, plastic shed.
Ooh,
Oh,
is this the plastic shed?
This is the one that I had taken a picture of out in Nantucket, but what he applied with shows that it's not there, so
oh, it's,
the
yeah, you
picture
can see
may
it
be
from the wharf.
deceiving.
You can see it as you go down the wharf and look to the side.
Motion to
Not-
hold number 7
Okay.
for representation.
That's a good idea. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ooh.
Okay. 1 Summer Street.
Motion to hold number 8 for representation.
Russell Simpson. All in favor of C's motion to hold
Aye. For representation?
for representation? 34 Washing Pond Road, new dwelling.
TJ, was that last one me and you or me and Jess?
Wait.
Okay, so it's me and you on this one. Wait in the hall, we'll call you when we're ready. Do you remember when they used to have to wait outside the building downtown?
You still have to wait in line.
Yeah, they actually had to get in a queue, first come, first serve.
Hello, Sophie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Whit, how are you?
Is Diane okay?
She hasn't been.
She's mending from a leg injury.
Okay.
Toward,
Okay, but like,
yeah,
okay.
we're waiting.
Any, no.
I'm texting applicant, I'm moving this thing around, I'm like doing everything.
And she doesn't get paid.
Madam Chairperson, I have a question.
Yes.
Kathy, question. I know you're moving at a fast rate. Is you getting too complicated there? Do you want us to slow down?
He is such a dry face when he's joking around. Come on.
Okay.
Nobody's here though, John. That's why it's going so fast.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Sophie, would you like to tell us about your project?
Yes, so 34 Washing Pond is, I think you guys saw a few months ago, the existing owners came in for a demo of the existing house that's there right now. So I did this to sort of help visualize for you guys. So this is the existing house that's there now. That's, about to,
Yeah.
it's a really cool old funky house. But so it's not visible from the road, which is why I think you guys allowed it to be demoed. So it's the last house on the right as you go down Washing Pond.
Oh, that's already approved.
Yeah, you guys are,
Oh, it's built.
Okay.
yeah, it's there. It's, so no, the house will be demolished
Yeah.
because
it
you
was kind
guys
of an
approved.
iconic building at the end of the 1930s or something.
Damn global warming.
Well, we don't know.
So, so what we're proposing, my clients are proposing, this is to do a house further back here. So what you guys were saying, the first application is for the house we're proposing to sit here, and then there's a proposed guest house here.
Okay.
And he is representing the neighbors who live here.
Okay.
By any
To Orange.
chance, do you have a picture of the house that was there?
I do.
Oh.
So it was a pretty big, the footprint of that house with all of its porches, the existing house was about 6,000 ground cover with all the porches, very big, and it had an attached kind of underground garage going to it. But it was a funky old, I wasn't the one who came to ask for the demo, but you guys approved it.
Big white chimneys.
Yeah, it's big and it has a roof walk. So what we're asking for is 3,900 on the ground with no roof walk and trying to do a sort of a shingle style sweeping eave look. Most of the houses on that run, as you guys know, are pretty stately, big houses. So that's what we're going for.
There's an underground garage in this one.
Yeah, so we're trying to have a whole, so that the cars wouldn't be just, we're proposing, which you guys would see in the hardscaping applications, and the whole landscape architect would come, but an underground, not visible, so you wouldn't see the garage doors. There's would be sort of down in a big well.
What would you like to say to the neighbor?
We were just able to get their elevations a couple days ago. We're in the process of evaluating them. The good news is, and as we sort of demonstrated by being late to the table, there are conversations between the abutting neighbors on this project, and it may very well be that there are some mutually agreeable changes that you'll see in the future. Just as initial reactions to the design, Sophie, but the location of the main house in combination with the cottage / pool house, which I know we're going to be talking about very soon. They're sort of sitting on the proud knoll of this, and to the extent and revisions could drive those either down into the west, which is downhill, or further into the grade. Certainly the neighbor it would lessen the impact on the neighborhood and my client specifically. There's an awful lot of stone shown on the foundations and architectural pillars, etc. Not that that's not very attractive, Sophie, but perhaps more appropriate to an Adirondack setting than Nantucket. The cottage pool house has a huge stone outdoor chimney as well, that again is perhaps not quite appropriate for this neighborhood. So to the extent that that's comments on the main house and the pool cottage, there you've got it. But like I said, we're somewhat optimistic that we may be able to reach something that the neighbors not only would not object to, but perhaps could actually actively support.
So let me just get this clear, that your objection is to some of the details of the house, not positioning or
the sighting, the initial sighting where it is on the high point of the lot, and given the fact that Sophie, I can't steal yours.
It's because it's closer to their house.
Right.
Well, not only that,
It's
but
not on the
what
high pot.
was a large iconic house on the edge of the bluff, this is now going to be subdivided into 2 lots. You've got a 2-lot A&R coming where you used to have the house with the putting green and sand trap and another structure here. They're going to be doubling up on the density. You're just not seeing it all at this point. So yes, Val, you're right. It is moving further and closer to my client's house, but it's also going to be 1/2 of 2 lots that will eventually be developed here.
Do we have
Which is
grading?
not in front of us.
Well, I realize it's not in front of you, but I'm just talking in terms of the siting in response to Abby's question.
Am I allowed to speak to what he said at all? Just to correct a few.
Please.
So I just want to say we are not, the house is actually, due to the topography, not going to be sitting on necessarily the highest spot at all. And I have no idea what is going to happen to this lot over here. That's not in any way part of what I can control, but the minimum lot size is 80,000 square feet, and this is 100, so it's 50% larger. It's over 120, so it's not like it's a small, it's a small lot that is being created out there. And I completely understand where the neighbors are coming from, like who wants a house to be put in, close to them. I understand that, but in citing this and pitching this to my clients, the idea is I tried to keep this house as far from the neighbor's house as this house is from their neighbor, to kind of keep the rhythm of how these houses are spaced apart on Washing Pond's, similar. So my clients aren't like jamming in. So sort of the cadence, if we did an aerial of the whole run, is very similar to what, this house is to this house is to this. It's by no means jammed in there.
We probably should get a plan with some topography
I
on
was going
it.
to ask
Yeah.
for the grading on it.
So I have this small one for you guys from the town, and you can see that there is a there's a huge berm in between. So his client's house is sitting a little bit lower here. They're a lot here. And then as you can see, there's like an 8 or 10 foot high, kind of nice planted big sort of dune that separates the two properties. And then the highest point is actually where we can't build, this upper right quadrant here, where my clients would have no views of the ocean because it's like an 11-foot high dune. And so again, that dictated the placement of where the main house would be, so that if they're going to be on the ocean, that they could, you know, have a shot out to that view. So,
Sophie, can I interrupt?
Yes.
I'd like to suggest, Madam Chair, we do need to, I think we need to get the topo on the site plan, and I believe that, given that this kind of traverses from, originally when I was looking at it, I thought it was closer to the 22-foot max, but this appears to be up around the 26-foot line, or the 28-foot line, 26-foot line, down to the 22-foot line. So I just suggested it'd be appropriate to include with the topography an indication of where the retainage will be, because I think that'll be important for us to consider in context. I'm not suggesting we need a full-on hardscape plan, but I do think consistent with some of the other properties we viewed that are kind of a house on the hill, where retainage.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the other thing I would just broadcast to you personally, I think it is not appropriate to be at the pinnacle of the hill. But seeing the topography and the retainage, I think, will be very beneficial. I'm not suggesting we don't review the details, but I think those are really important.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby, you want to-
John, we were talking about wanting a topographical sort of sighting on this house.
I've been out there.
Right.
My one comment is here. 4 light windows, 2-foot squares are listed as awning. There are 20 of them in the structure. And that's too much.
okay.
And it should be changed to hoppers, tipped in,
Bless you.
or fixed. That's a comment there. My other comment is on A300, page A300. I think eyebrow dormers are not copacetic to the neighborhood. I couldn't find any out there. And the height is 29'6" compared to the house's existing. Do you have photos of the existing house?
Yeah.
I don't, but it's on.
Can you get the photos?
Hold on.
Yeah.
It's a real simple old house.
I heard you. Right, yeah, that's the one.
There's some.
Been all the way around it, you know?
Could you write down some of the things we're saying, like the
Yeah, I got it in the
topographical
old
and the scale and the
section.
and I'd like to see the neighbor's house and the pre-existing house where that was.
I want to see the change
Yeah, gotcha.
from the main house.
Do you want
I
poles?
find the roof off is gone.
They don't want to roof
The one now is prominent, you know.
I mean, it's 27.9 without the chimneys. I mean, for what it is, it's relatively low. I think, I'm just gonna jump in on the last of my comments and
Yeah,
So, are you done?
No, I had one other
Okay,
comment.
go ahead, Mr. McLaughlin.
2 inches more, 2 inches more would be 100 feet long.
Okay, so,
So that's about the same size as what's there.
the whole house or the
whole house.
top ridge
Whole
one?
house, that's
Okay,
measured, yeah.
all right, thank
Thank
you,
you.
John.
I would suggest with respect to context that some simpler detailing would be appropriate. I think the overall massing at this point is appropriate. That's subject to looking at the topo and the sections and whatnot. But I think, you know, for instance, column details with the shutters, with the eyebrow feature on the porch and as a dormer, and the conical stone bases. They're all nice elements, but with respect to what was there and some of the neighboring homes, I think it's overly detailed. So those would be my additional comments.
Val, thank you, Steve. Any architectural features you want to mention?
No,
No.
no, thank you.
Jesse?
What's the colors? So
White.
And the shutters are white?
And I don't know if it helped you guys, but I know it was on the view pack, but there are a lot of these eyebrow windows and stone houses.
Yeah,
Like its
I know.
neighbors are really stately, like of all of the strips on Nantucket. This is 2 houses away, this is 3 houses away, the fieldstone chimneys, none of these houses are visible from the public way, but they are visible from the ocean, and I understand that.
And just to clarify my comments, I'm not as concerned about the fact that there's stone present or the eyebrows. I'm just suggesting with respect to the overall, some of the detailing is what makes it seem a little bit complicated.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Jesse?
I think a topo plan with as much, with any kind of retaining walls would be helpful. With that said, by looking at the topo, it's not on the highest point from this view, but I'd like to see it actually on the site plan. And if you try to go lower, it's going to be going closer to the neighbor's house by the looks of it. And then as for the drawing itself, I think the size and massing is appropriate for the neighborhood. I'm not used to seeing the eyebrow windows or the kind of curved wings on the rake boards. But
Are those
after
curves or is that the paper? I didn't
No,
tell.
there's a slight flare. It's a
Okay.
shingle style
Okay.
flare.
But after seeing some examples, I guess they are more typical than I thought, and I'm okay with the fieldstone chimneys, but would like another type.
I was thinking Boston. You guys have liked this in the past. It's
Oh, yeah.
the New England Boston blend. That's
is that the stuff down on Holbert that you did?
yeah.
It's very similar.
It looks kind of funky though, or does it get filled in?
So they have to grout. It doesn't look great before they grout
No,
it, but
I was
they
gonna say I hope
yeah.
it's not that.
But they grout it, and then that is getting there's
On the
cedar natural weather
Yeah.
ducks and plantings. Yes.
Lastly, the only, architecturally, the shutters fight the shingle style for me, so I would like to see a simpler with a dolphin cut out in the top. But I think the sort of storm shutter is fighting it's a beautiful, I don't have any other thing to say about the design itself, except that I think the shutters are fighting the design, and I'd like to see a simpler application.
Okay.
So do I hear a motion to?
Yes, topo on the site plan, include the existing footprint dashed, existing structure, retainage and gross, so not a hardscape plan, a sectional along 2 axes, so just.
Hold on one second.
30% is safe.
Oh, thank God.
Safe, no problem
Oh,
with the deck.
we're waiting for that.
Sectional on 2 axes, just pick. And then revisions as you see fit.
Okay.
I have just one other comment. So the 2 dormers on the front over the front door, maybe a different window type there, something taller.
Okay.
That's the motion. Again?
Okay, one last quick one.
Also, you mentioned the visibility. The north, the east, and the west is visible from the water, which is in the general law.
I said water. I got it.
You should reverse it, put the front side on the
On
other.
there.
Yeah, I agree with Val about those two windows over the front door. They're a little busy. I don't know what you can do about
I
that.
think it's look kind of squat.
Yeah, that's the only thing that bothers me about it. I don't know what it is.
Citizens' comments?
Yes, please.
If she lowered the porch roof, it would look nice anyway. I was wanting to say that, and actually the porch roof on the left, lowering the eave, and it would give you the opportunity to
Do a bigger window there.
Do it,
Thank you, TJ. All right, do I hear a motion to hold for those?
Are we gonna do
revisions?
this all night?
What?
Motion was made with a topo, existing footprint, retainage and cross-sectional 2 axes, and minor revisions.
Ta-da. Okay, all in favor?
I
Aye.
Hold it.
John, in favor?
No, we just approved it.
That's
with all fixed windows.
awning.
all hoppers.
35 years ago.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I'm just keeping an eye on the time for you.
Oh, brilliant.
You
You can really see the roof line on the smaller, the
Flare.
Flare.
Yeah, thicker.
Would you like to present something, tell us about this, or you want us to go around the board?
Well, it's styled to match the main house, and then the two flanking covered areas are because that area is so windy and so sort of windswept out there. The hope was to give them some kind of protection. So those outdoor zones with those additional roofs, that's what the purpose of those zones. You guys approved something very similar to this out at 94 Tom Nevers, which is also a flare style.
Is it?
Like the house and the secondary structure, it's very similar to something that you guys approved out there, which is built now and looks, I think, good.
Oh, maybe I'd like to take a look at that. Go ahead.
It looks very appropriate, thank you.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes, I have no problem with the distance of the meeting rails.
Good.
Way out of whack for being in line with with here. It's gotta be come down maybe 10 inches.
So smaller windows there.
Well, most of them do, yeah. I think that should be looked into.
Anything else?
Yes.
He's got one more.
Oh,
Kinda.
My eyes get bad.
Give him the handkerchief.
Yeah, inoperable, not a good one. But 1 out of 22.
You good?
Val, go.
it's a dwelling, right?
Yes.
So for me, I don't really see a front.
Door?
And I'm obtuse, so I'm confused by the south. Is there gonna be a drive under garage underneath that?
Yeah, it's literally
Chimney?
like a, we have to get away from the chimney by like 8 feet, so it's pretty involved, but it's proposed as landscaping over it, and the doors are literally like hidden underground, like an underground tunnel to the garage doors. I'm just sort of showing, the landscape plan would show it better, but does that make sense? There's actual earth, like those doors are tucked back as it
Yeah,
is.
so I think we probably should see something, maybe not anything that's, exact, but that did confuse me, sorry.
Val, if you look on the site
So this is like
plan.
a little deck over top of this
Tunnel.
tunnel. Okay.
because they want to have a lot of, you know, parking under the house, but I just didn't want to see it, like huge car garages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is gonna be seen though.
Well, it would be 14 feet below grade.
What?
But there's gonna be retaining to get to make the tunnel to get there. That's what we're gonna see. Does nobody think that's odd?
Well, no, because it's 350 feet from the road.
Then why are we even reviewing it?
Well, I think anything above the first floor we're gonna see.
We'd still get.
Yes, Val?
Anything
What
underground.
is
I think
the
we're gonna see.
elevation that the garage door is on?
You mean like underground?
Is it the south? I guess it's.
Yes,
on
the
I
south,
don't
yeah.
understand it.
The whole,
The whole driveway would be,
is gonna be sunk down.
Yeah.
And then you go further
Right.
sort of straight
Right.
into the.
Like you're going through Boston through the tunnel into the airport.
Yeah.
so the existing house does the same thing. If you guys see this huge asphalted parking area, you come up to the central drive, and then it's almost like a downhill driveway
Yeah,
into
we
this
need
lower.
a
So the
little more
topo's gonna
info
help.
on that.
The
yeah.
topo's
Yeah,
gonna
could we
help.
do
Yep.
a topo on that
Yep.
as well? Okay. Any comments about the architecture?
I think it's appropriate. As is.
Want to make a motion to
Hold for revisions and
More
more
information.
information, track with house.
all in favor of Val's motion?
Aye.
Aye,
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
You got it? We're under our percentage.
Russell
We're
is
good?
here.
Our percentage? Did you measure it?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
It's 12 Tennessee.
Good.
Oh, that's the
Evening.
shed.
Are you here for 33 Milk Street?
Yeah, 33 Milk Street.
We'll come back here.
Oh. Okay.
So, DJ,
Okay, wait one second. So 12 Tennessee came in, and what else? And 1 Summer Street. Okay, I'll have to remember to go back to that. Who's gonna remember that?
Is there any pictures of the house?
This should be submitted with the application. So, yes, what we are doing is changing or adding those
And
French doors.
we only have these.
I'm quite certain you
They are
can't see that from the
good.
road, and it's on the additive mass. I drive by there a lot.
They are kind of visible a little bit through the bushes, but they are in that
I
recessed
don't even know
section
what this
of the
house
house.
looks like from the street.
Yeah, you do.
You do. You drive. It's right at the
Yeah.
stop sign as you head toward Westchester, and you know it.
It's
This is what drives me nuts though, because here I am trying to guess what house this is, where it is, we don't have all the information, and now I have to complain about it.
No, it's right on the corner of the Milk Street and Exit.
You see it all the time. So
Exactly.
HSAB, do you mind if I start with HSAB?
Yeah.
Okay, so, 33 mil. Pair of French doors with 2 flanking windows is more appropriate. Old windows should stay with house. Do not throw away window survey. Explanation.
Madam Schaefer, do I see the pictures, please?
Well, here's the one set, if you can tell
Thank
what's
you.
going on.
Kaufman Gardner House.
Is this an old house?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some history on this.
I'm not gonna look at it anymore until we have all the information.
Okay, can you make that motion?
Motion to hold for more complete information on the house and a view.
We need historic information. How old is it? We're probably gonna need a window survey to know.
It's I don't remember now how old, but it was in the application the year when it was built.
Right, but
So
that
this
should be
is
with
the-
the application. Pictures would be great.
Pictures.
Pictures.
It's good that you're here because you
Wait,
can see
I-
what causes us total, like, I'm apoplectic about this stuff.
The window survey, even if we are removing those two windows. So we're not replacing window or putting new one in. We're just putting new door in. That's all we are doing, not touching any other windows there.
All right, but I think HSAP's point is that they don't want you, you know, when you're taking out old windows in a 1790s house,
Yeah.
that puts up a red flag, especially when you're putting up 2 sets of French doors, so, Val, what is your motion?
The motion was to hold for more information on the house, maybe photos of the entire house if there's no drawings, and a window
Say that
survey.
again? I can hear you.
More information on the house because it's a historic house,
I agree.
and pictures showing the house, not just the section where that's going, and what we're looking at in terms of the windows he wants to take out are those old windows.
End of view.
And a view.
All right, all in favor of Val's motion?
Aye.
I haven't spoken yet.
Oh,
Thank you.
we are going
My
to.
only comment is, yes, because of its age of the house, and it's the wrong type of window glass to have in, you get too much of it. Get down to two of those, because it's over the 50%, which we have of the wall space. Covers more than 50, covers about 76%. So take one of them out of there anyway, if you're gonna have any at all. But that's my thought. Thank you.
Are you, okay. All right, we're holding for more information, John. And a
And a
view.
window survey.
Thank you.
That's good, thank you.
And, yeah.
You can save mine for the end of the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Just let everybody else go.
TJ,
Now, wait, we have 2 applicants that are here that
Oh, right,
we
right.
passed because people were
Yes.
dropping out left and right.
do we have 12 Tennessee Ave in could you come up, please? Plastic shed. Sure, thank you. Curvature.
What it called?
Nantucket Advisory Board. Plastic building,
Conditions?
curvature of building inappropriate. Plastic building, curvature of building inappropriate. Okay. Would you like to tell us what you would like to do?
So I'm representing my son, Ethan Devine, and he is hoping that the shed will get approval, basically.
Well, the pictures that he's provided us don't show the shed, so has it moved from where it was? Because the pictures
Right,
prior, you can see this from the boat launch.
yes.
And you know, to be fair, I don't know where he got it, but we're trying to squelch these plastic sheds from cropping up all over the place.
Yeah, so he, that picture, I believe, was taken before he moved the canoes back to the other side of the house. And he also had put in tall plantings and bushes all the way around, that's why you don't see it in the pictures that he provided. He, since his house doesn't have a garage, an attic, or a basement, he's just getting overrun with car seats and whatnot, and so he saw this shed at Marine and he thought it was okay.
And they didn't tell him otherwise.
Well, I would assume so.
That's become one of our bet noirs.
And so he,
Fighting them.
what happened with the visibility was that summer was the only summer since he's owned the house, which has been, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years now, that they cut back the shrubbery in order to make the bushes be more healthy. And then that just was an unfortunate coincidence with him
Really?
putting in the shed.
All right, can we pass the photos?
Okay.
This is just one that I took before.
Oh, wait, John, do you have these?
He does.
Okay.
Here it is, oh,
TJ,
here, okay.
So Jesse, are you on this one?
I am.
Okay. Would you like to start, or are you ready?
Honestly, I don't know where the shed is.
It was right here. And she's saying that now the vegetation is screening it, which it looked like that. Will you hold that up? It's the same exact location.
Jess.
There it is. Where is it going? This is the question.
No, I guess they're
It's going-
leaving it there, and she's saying that it's screened now.
Well, line them up.
It was on the view.
It was on the
I
view.
mean, kind of could be, yeah. It looks like this is this one. Because that's clearly that.
Yeah.
But this is taller than that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Guys, I don't.
Where is that?
Yeah.
So did you know that we're trying not, you know, they're selling them at Marine Home, but that we're not in favor of them? Did you?
You know that, I'm representing him, so I'm sort of outside of the process
Right,
of
it-
this, but I would say that
That one.
I'm sure he wouldn't have done it if he knew
That's-
that it was gonna be a problem, because
That's what I
he
think.
put a lot into setting it up and organizing and putting shelves inside.
Yeah.
You know, he wouldn't have gone to
Yeah,
all that.
we have restrictions on sheds, and this one is plastic. Okay, so let's go around the table.
I'm just,
Are you still confused about
well,
what
I
it is?
am, because I'm looking at the two different pictures and it doesn't, this picture that was provided does not look like the shed is there.
That's because there's tall plantings there now, very tall bushes that surround it, so you can't see it.
Did you write that?
So and if you look, if you go down the wall, can you ask where it's
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're asking to keep it where it was, right?
That's what he's asking,
Yes. And so he's saying it's exactly where I have the picture of it, whenever that was. And this is what it looks like now with the plantings in front of it. It's screened.
Okay.
And if that's the case, then it's fine. It's not fine that nobody's telling people plastic sheds are not supposed to be.
Okay, so I want to just cut to the chase here since I'm on this. I think a couple things. One, the shed as it's shown in the as-built drawing traverses the lot line into G Street. So that would need to be rectified. We really can't approve something that violates onto the town property. Number one. Number two, well, I acknowledge these things are just so anti-everything Nantucket is meant to be in terms of historic fabric and materials and so on and so forth. If it is actually not visible, then the only way we could approve that is that it not be visible at the time of inspection or thereafter. And in this instance, I would add, and I'm not suggesting we do this, but for your contemplation, we add, and if found in violation, it is automatically and immediately subject to removal, so that there's no further action required from us other than a notice to state that you're in violation. The terms of the conditions are that it would be removed automatically and immediately if it's a violation. And then that addresses the concern of visibility. I'm taking the applicant's testimony at face value that it can't be seen. So that's kind of my thoughts.
John?
Motion to view it. I'm very careful about this one. This is in the old part of Nantucket, which should be maintained at the
It was
utmost
on a view.
in architectural features. The plastic isn't one of them.
Just so you know, this was on a view, but I support your wanting to
I
review it.
know it was on the list, but I missed it.
Okay, so now, it's hard, there's, is there some way that you could put something so when we go to view it, that people could recognize where exactly it is? on the site.
Sign pointing to it?
Yeah, like, I don't,
Tie
I
a
don't know,
Denver
but it's-
Bronco scarf to it so we can see it.
Well, you'd have to know where to go in terms of it, because
We'll-
it's tucked behind
We'll,
the
we'll
house,
find
you
it from
know.
the public view. We just need something to indicate the ridge height.
it's, you see it from the wharf.
Well,
where
it's,
it is.
if it's there or not, we'd be able to see from the, you know, the pier.
Right.
I mean, I don't think she needs to do anything to indicate it if it's already there. That's something we do if it's like a house that's
That's true.
unbuilt, you know.
You were concerned that it might be like filtered view. That's all I was trying to address.
Well, there are, you know, so is there some sort, what is in front of the shed right now? Is it fake ivy or something? There's something green in front of it that I can't.
No, there's nothing fake in front of it. There's these, I don't know, 7 feet tall bushes. that were
Ivy? Is it
planted.
ivy?
No, there's no ivy, as far as I know. I don't live there, but.
All right, so, all right, thank you.
John's motion.
Okay, John's motion for a view. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What is this, what is the scale of this? I can't hit it. It's gotta be more than a quarter of an inch or less.
It would have to be, I didn't draw that.
The measurements are on there, John, somewhere.
It says right here.
Yeah, 80,
That's gotta be,
84 inches wide.
102.461. How's that for precision? I don't know how accurate it is, but
It
it's
doesn't
very
tell you
precise.
half inch equals a foot or anything
all
like
right,
that.
and you move it over. Yeah, measure this.
So I
We're
wondered
holding
that
for a
too.
view, John. We already made.
All in favor of the view?
The review?
The review.
Well, it's got to be.
Aye.
Aye.
Or something.
All right.
Thank you.
Russell, what one were you here for? The church, number 8.
We're going too fast. We're
Not-
making mistakes.
We're not making mistakes. We all got lives to live. We got to get moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ask for a scale drawing through Kathy.
I stood beside him at 6 foot, but anyway. All right,
You know, Russell.
How is it? Nice to see you.
Everybody good?
Summer Street.
wasting my time.
1 Summer Street.
It's the
This
choice.
is 76
right?
inches.
Yes, absolutely.
This is 72. So that's 4 inches.
Can we do glass up there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh,
Russell
the
sent back to the
is it the
applicant.
Baptist? Is it the Baptist church? What is that church?
Summer Street.
Summer Street Church.
Summer Street.
I mean, it's technically the
76?
same thing.
Yeah.
I think it changed about 10 years ago, the name.
96 inches.
So what does HSAB say?
HSAB says entry has transom.
7,
Extra lights indoors are redundant.
6, and 4.
Add and not appropriate. Consider researching original door style. This is an opportunity to make good.
That's fair. I don't know who that is, though.
Oh, who said that?
Yeah, or
Well, that's
what entity.
Angus McLeod, Lucy Dillon, Jason Leonardo Finger, Milton Rowan,
Oh.
and Brooke Mergerbergen.
Mirror, all right.
Murder. Jesus.
What are we on now?
We're on 1 Summer Street, which is number 8. 8.
I don't have a problem with this. Changing the
Is-
top 2 panes to glass.
Yep. Instead of a 6-panel, it's a 2-2-2.
Glass.
2 glass, 2 wood, 2 wood.
What's there now? Is it solid like that?
You just saw it. It's that front picture.
But
That's-
he's got
that's it?
Yep.
he's got
That's
examples.
exactly what you have right now.
And that's, you see, so it's almost like kind?
Well, it's identical, except I'm switching wood panels for glass ones. I'm not changing the style door or anything.
So
Yep.
if you look at the picture right behind the church door, you'll see it's a similar door, but the 2 top panels are now glass.
Right.
This is what you want?
That's all he's asking to do is
They
take
want
those out and
glass.
put glass in.
They just want to put glass
And
in.
my first impulse was, you know, fine, looks fine, but then I heard Angus's comment. I actually wouldn't mind seeing what was originally there, you know, on the Library of Congress website, under the American Memory heading, they probably have a HABS survey of this building. like they do a lot of the churches in Nantucket. It's a historic American building survey,
Sure.
which probably shows the drawings back when they took the survey. And you could also reference the historic survey at the HEC office.
So a little more information.
I'm happy to go do some research.
Okay.
What do you think as the older information? Because that's going to be more accurate.
I'd like to reference both of those documents: the historic survey at the office and Library of Congress website, historic American building survey.
Okay.
And those items should be dated, and we can kind of make a judgment from there based on the date.
Sounds fair to me.
Do you want to write that down?
Could I please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that pen is loud.
So Library of Congress? Or you could really enjoy
What are the
yourself
name
and
of
rewatch
this?
the video.
Again.
It's a Library of Congress American Memory, and there's like a subdivision of American Memory called Historic American Building Survey.
Massachusetts Cultural.
Okay, did I hear a motion to hold for more historic information? All in favor of my own?
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
Russell.
moved. I'm not on it, so.
All right, let's move on.
Yes.
All right,
We did, what about 16 Grove? Did we
hold?
I think
Are you
we're
16 Grove? No. What are you?
I'm 80 Pleasant. 80 Pleasant.
I was asking that mine be moved to the end of the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. All in favor of holding TJ's till the end of the session? Aye.
So moved.
Wait, Madam Chair, hold on this, application now.
I guess that.
TJ and Steve.
Joy.
God, you're
I
good.
keep track of the carry.
Welcome to the HCC, David.
Thank you for having me.
Spa.
TJ moved to the bottom.
So it originally said pool, and we were like, you can't have a pool in the old
know that.
historic district. That's what it was listed as on the agenda. Or signed up as.
I didn't even see how you could fit it in there.
Spa, hardscape.
It's a spa.
This one for?
Spa,
Right.
gate, hidden fence. I don't even know, look at that.
I do.
Driveway, apron,
Is this in the historic district?
granite
Yes.
patio.
80 Pleasant?
Yes, the line doesn't change until Cherry. One side's in, one side's out.
What is this for?
It's not my fault, we didn't make it historic structure, so.
Street rendering.
Yeah.
No, I did the house for this, and
Yeah.
David's doing the.
And these hedges, if you're looking at the picture that shows the hedges, those hedges are there. And they're fully grown because they've been growing these hedges for years and there's never been a house there.
Okay, but what do we do about it being in the historic district in a spa?
A spa's okay, a pool is not.
Okay.
But that's not really our thing anyways. It's whether it's visible or not.
Right.
Okay.
I think it's fine, given what's already there for screening, which I assume is staying or will go back once the house is built.
Correct.
4-inch hidden, it's basic, the spa fence is like, it's like a pool fence. Metal with posts.
There is gonna be, the gates are gonna be type 2, natural to weather. And it's gonna be wire, pool wire fencing behind the hedge.
On the opposite side of the street, obviously.
Yep.
Equipment? Sorry, cough coming
Good question about the equipment.
on. Well, I'm okay with it as long as it's north of the spa.
Right.
The equipment.
Right next to my Papa and Nana's house?
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Well, here's your chance
Do you
to.
wanna?
No, I'm kidding.
John, what do you think of the spa?
I'm trying to find it.
Here.
Well, what's blocking it now?
Yeah,
Show 'em
this
the
is
hedge.
This is the hedge. There'll be a fence buried behind the hedge, not visible, which we can clarify in our motion. We can clarify in our motion that the spa won't be visible at the time of inspection or thereafter.
You get a 4-foot fence.
You got a privet.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter what the height is. If you can't view it at the time of inspection or thereafter, that's really the operative aspect of an approval.
Single gate, okay. And vegetation's in the back and the side. Okay, what was I gonna ask about? Go ahead, if you got something else, go ahead.
Okay, so do I hear a motion?
Oh, they're trying to make
Will
this.
be equipment on the north side of the spa, northwest.
Time of inspection thereafter not visible. Fence buried.
Pleasant Street.
Okay, and what the rest of those features?
Just because it's in the historic district.
Yeah.
So just for Terry.
Inspection.
You're gonna
May-
write that on here.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor of Jesse's motion?
If someone's gonna come in and we're gonna have a.
Yeah.
Pleasant Street.
Aye.
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 And I'll write it as we've friendly modification.
Steve, are you in favor?
Yeah, I'm writing it.
Well, alrighty then. John? Okay? Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
We got a little beat going there.
8 Hull Lane,
Yeah.
solar panels.
So the board on this will be, the alternates will be TJ and Stephen, correct?
I was just on one, so.
I know, but Jesse stepped
Oh,
out.
sorry, I was.
You're back on.
Where have you been hiding?
Hi, Hannah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi. You got out a week ago, right?
Yeah. What did he say? Pull equipment to the north?
West. Northwest. I was listening.
Would you like to tell us about your project?
New home being built on Hull Lane. I'm Tim Holmes. I'm with Sunwind. This is Patrick Marks. This is his residence.
It's a teacher. All right.
So yeah, new home being built, and we're just looking to put some solar panels on this property while it's under construction in the process. The roof is a little cut up, so trying to get as many panels on as we can on there. And at the same time, trying to keep it neat in appearance.
This is a new house, Pat, or an
Oh, the
addition?
addition to what we've already done.
So the east is the front, right?
Yes.
West.
No, yeah, no, it's west, way
West.
more west of the.
Just share it.
You're rushing me here. Come on. You're going too fast. You gotta slow down a little bit.
If I do, you lose your glasses.
You're gonna make a
That's the
mistake.
west. Oh, I guess this is the west.
I'll expedite. Okay.
Is there a reason that they're on 2 different roof planes instead of just one?
They're actually on 3 different roof planes.
It's the west.
Right.
There's just every roof plane. They're all so small that there's just
Oh,
really
here we go.
not. Yeah, we got 3 different roof planes there.
And he has a black roof.
Yes.
Pitching.
But I don't, well, so why, so I'll change my question. Why are they on 3 different roof planes if you could narrow it down to just one of these?
Yeah, it looks like there's space within some of the planes that you didn't fill.
Coming in?
Like, like this roof plane and this roof plane, it looks like you have shingle space. That you didn't put panels.
There's actually, so that roof is only about 8 feet long from the gutter to the peak. and the panels are 5'6" tall. So we like to put them in portrait so that they're taller, in the taller way rather than in landscape. And with that roof there in particular, if we can't even fit a row, let's say below in landscape, we couldn't even turn another row. There's really only enough space for just one row in portrait on that particular roof line.
Well, it's good you have a black roof.
Yeah.
I guess it's good either way.
Well, and I'll say they don't face the front, they face,
I don't know this neighborhood too, you have to help me out.
well, the
here.
front is the west, which you see there's a model of, so what you'd see was the panels,
Just the
the
edge,
side.
the side view of it, yeah.
So there's none on the western elevation?
No.
Directly?
No, facing the street, no.
Yeah,
No.
okay. So. You good? It's all black?
I'm good with
The
this.
panels are all black, the frames are black, the face of the panel is black.
It's all black frames, and there's a picture of the frames in the application?
Yes. And the very last page is the panels, yep.
Consolidating.
All right, so, have we gone around the table?
Yeah.
John's still looking.
No, he isn't.
He's done. Motion approved is submitted.
All in favor of, what's his names?
Marks.
Are we gonna put, we're getting, you know those dolphin shutters, we need a little crab up there instead.
Who made the motion?
Stephen.
Okay.
All in favor of Steve?
I'm in favor.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
John? Good luck.
Girl Scout cookies.
Got your money, I got your money.
Are you selling them?
I am.
I don't think you can do that at the table.
I'm not, but he
Can I get the sheet? I'm gonna get 2 more boxes.
You are?
Please. Thank you.
Here,
I'll bring it
throw
right
them
back
on
to you. You got it.
John was holding on to it.
Paul? Doug?
Hey,
Doug, I have a good picture of you from the Festival of Trees.
There's no such thing as a good picture. Oh, the jacket distracts from everything else.
On balance. Good picture.
8 Hulbert.
8 Hulbert, yep.
There's a lot HSAP has to say about 8 Hulbert.
Really?
Well, maybe
It's good.
DJ, are you on this one?
Well, I guess Jesse and I then.
Yeah. So,
One you'll be comfortable with.
HSAB, outdoor shower should move off-street elevation. No concerns otherwise. No concerns with C on east, but definitely on south. I guess they might need to see window. No concerns on west elevation, south elevation, overage, over large, unit C, null or okay, but too much glass. Are there AC units?
Oh, on my house?
It's Jesse and
He missed one, so you two,
Okay.
right?
Coming back. I'm good with that. Let's just go
It's
with
going tonight, I can't
Got a
stand
few
it.
to get through tonight.
I put mine back here.
I wish I could put it up here.
All right, Doug, what do you have to say about the shower being on the front of the house?
Well,
This very
so
large shower.
It's it's a maze type so that we don't have a door flapping in the breeze. And the reason it's on the front is because we have wetlands all around the back. So the house is already partly into the 25-foot buffer, as you can see on the site plan. So any sort of additions that we're doing within those buffer zones, we're trying to limit to things that we have to have, which are, additional steps to get up to the floor since we're raising the house. I'm not sure if that was clear in the application. We're raising it about 3'3".
No, we didn't know that was part of this.
Well, that's the first word on the application, I think, is lift. So that's what we're doing, anyway. So we're raising it 3'3" to get it above the floodplain. So the reason the shower is on the front is because of wetlands issues. In terms of the other comments from historic structures, you know, we did take the largest window that exists in the house and we put that on the back because that's where the best view is. And that's kind of the thrust of that small addition is, you know, to get the views towards the town. You know, I think they just look large compared to some of the smaller windows that are there. And it's also because there's an interior set of steps that on the second floor that take you from where those two windows are to on the left, it's actually lower. That's why it might look even bigger than it actually is, but that's the reason for that.
Yeah, because if you look at the east, you have 3 C windows in a row that are slightly separated by shingle. Those seem, to me, it could be an illusion that they're a little narrower.
And they're not. They're the same size.
So maybe the key to that is to do what you did over here, and that is to separate them slightly. In terms of the shower, I don't know. Could you stick it on the back of the shed? Or around the corner? On the west?
The west is right up against the property line, so or the setback line, so we can't do anything on the west, unfortunately.
And what are the stairs to?
On the front,
Next to the shower.
they go up to that same deck. So one of the things that we're doing is adding that number 1 door. Let me just point to it. So we're adding this door as well.
It's
so
not
steps-
circled, Doug.
Well, it's within this whole red thing here. So we're actually adding this and that.
Could you disguise that shower somehow, like
privet?
Well, there's privet at the street, which we've shown on the site plan.
Yeah, but
It would even be better on the opposite side, behind the shed.
that's what I said.
Could the shower not go on board the rear deck of the house?
What if you just shingle it?
Well, they're looking for it to be, you know, one of those things where when you come back from the beach and you have sand all over you, rather than going around the house to have it.
We don't
It's
care.
so huge.
I understand.
I know. And it's got a deck in front of it.
What if we shingled it?
What if you kind of try to make it
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
mitigate it, like don't
we
put
could
all
shingle
that
it.
deck in front of it?
Lots of interesting, did you hear?
What?
Shingle it instead of beadboard or
Yeah,
board?
definitely.
I mean, you really, it might read as part of the foundation or. And
Where's the water table though? Because it's way lower than the water table.
It would just read as like a railing or, you know, for that deck, like there's a deck behind it or something, you know.
Yeah, we'd probably read it as a half wall.
Yeah,
Kind of a thing.
like a knee wall like this
Well,
deck.
Yeah.
Right, but what about the shower head itself? Is that poking its head?
No, it would be below that. It would be below.
I mean, it would be odd on Hulbert Avenue.
Yeah.
Wow, our shower heads are exterior architectural features. Could you use one of those European ones with flourish?
Or just sprays that come in from the side.
You could make it a lot smaller.
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. It's humongo.
Yeah, why does it have to be so big?
Well, again, it's a
You
maze.
could get rid
it's a
of the
maze
deck in
design
front
order
of
to
it.
not have. Well, the deck.
And you just step up into it.
If maybe like,
Gotta get
Well-
creative.
Okay, so the other thing we're trying to do is once you come out of the shower, you don't want to go back down to grade and then back up.
Well, we're worried about it being on the front of the house.
I
Yeah,
know.
we don't care where they're showering or what they're doing in the shower. Can you come up with a, is that the only thing you're here
We
for?
can make it small.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could make it a little smaller.
I think you could also tuck it around, you know, you have this jut back piece on the west. Tuck it there. Right here.
Part of it.
Yeah.
think it would be in front of a window.
Where about?
Well, it's in front of a window now.
Oh, no, I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
But there's.
Yeah, we could probably tuck it around the corner partly at least.
Does the deck has to go with it all the way around?
I would hope not. They could do a boardwalk or something. Let
Yeah,
Doug come up with a solution.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay where it is if you reduce it by almost 50%.
Yeah.
Or shingle it.
I'd say if you shingled it, it'd be good to see a solid wall plane from the road, so you move the entry around to the side as well, you know, so we don't see the, you know, entry point of the.
Well, I actually think Val's onto something. If we do move it around the corner, then that'll give us the space to be able to have the deck come around and then over to the shower. So I think we can
Great.
work
Do
that,
we
and we
want
can do that as a boardwalk as
Doug
opposed
in the
to
back
a.
for this? It's minor.
Minor. All in favor of Val's motion?
Aye.
You're fine.
Four Western Ave. Isn't that in Cambridge?
Yeah. They're done.
Is he gone?
Doug?
He's
here.
Where's Val?
Welcome.
Oh, he's right there.
He's got he's got the board.
Oh, all right.
I'm always unconventional.
Sorry.
What happened to 8 Halbert Avenue? All right, thank you very much. This is a really exciting community project
Revision.
that I'm very honored to be a part of. This is a project that was taken on by some WPI students, and bear with me. So make sure I can.
Who's sitting on this? You're sitting on this?
Okay, so it's this is basically a coastal litter project that's going to be tied together. It's a sculpture that's an expansion of our beach waste receptacles. It's a seasonal project, which I really love about this. It's something that'll come and go just for June, July, and August, and will help us address a problem that we see here on the South Coast. Some inspiring pictures from around the world of how others have tried to address raising concern of these kind of things around the world. Yoshi the fish is probably the most internet famous and is in Bali. Tread goldfish in Pompeii, and the right whale by an organization called Keep Golden Isles Beautiful. Each of them have a similar design in basically an open steel frame that has a mesh coating or skin, which allows coastal litter in various forms to be seen in the animal. Basically, this is Moby, 33 foot sperm whale that's designed to incorporate the existing wooden waste receptacles that DPW puts out to various beaches around the island with a supplemented steel frame head and tail system that plays a couple different roles here that we'll get into. So the objective is, number one, to raise awareness about coastal litter, its various sources and prevention of such, reduce the coastal litter locally, encourage some environmental behavior that's appropriate, and to promote long-term change both to the island residents and its many visitors. The students that led this project presented their project earlier this afternoon downstairs in the community room. So I'm here tonight to try to walk through this application, but
have done really the yeoman's work on this. They started by independently looking at various locations here with their professor in guidance. And ultimately, it was decided to pursue this at Surfside Beach, generally in this location that's pictured, near the beach the enclosures for bicycles, essentially behind the lead bench for the bus stop. So that's the location. It's opposite the concession location. So it's the high traffic area, both for pedestrians going to and from the beach, for people standing in line, waiting for their concessions, or using the trash receptacles once they've either come off the beach or if they've dined in and around the area. The students were approached midway through the design by a group that was in the process of trying to put a permanent bus station here, a permanent bus stop enclosure at this location that was supposed to be dedicated in memory of David Ozias. And so apparently when David passed, there was many years of many events in his name that involve coastal activities. There was some surf competitions and that sort of thing. And so over time, the organization in memory of David has some remaining funding that they were hoping to utilize for an enclosure for the bus station, or the bus stop here. So we got wind of that. We talked with the people organizing, and we met with folks from the Regional Transit Authority and from Remain, who had done previous bus shelter enclosures that you've probably seen. And we said, well, we think that the students could incorporate a shade or basically use the tail design to basically keep the elements off of the bench here, provide a similar type of feature. So everyone loved that idea, to prevent a permanent bus shelter here that's fairly unnecessary, given that it's a seasonal bus stop. And this is something that's intended to be segmented so it can be assembled and disassembled and stored in the winter months, or obviously in the shoulder seasons in the winter months when this site is not being used. We can come back to pictures, but these are what we're using currently at various beach locations around the island, and was a solution to both seagull issues that we've experienced through the years of going right into the tops of the canisters and removing trash, and also just wind that's inherent at a lot of these beach locations. So these are front-loaded, small little gravity flaps. They're typically labeled with the appropriate signage for what waste stream the barrel inside is looking to take away. These are serviced by DPW. They fade just like any of the other wood products that we have out there, and any of the ones you've seen in service, for one season, they fade right out. So it would be a combination of 4 of these back to back in the center. You can feed it from both sides. These are typical of the waste streams we would collect, from recyclables to non-compostable, non-recyclable to compostables, as well as glass. So that's the wooden center sections. The only difference between what we currently do and the Moby design would be the roof ridge. The students have designed the roof ridge for those wooden units ultimately to match the profile of the whale.
So they open the doors?
The DPW would be able to open the doors to remove the cans and empty the...
How do they get the stuff in the cans, though?
I'm sorry? No, I'm talking about these doors swing open.
Yeah, I get that,
Inside
but where
these
do people
barrels.
put the trash into that
So
thing?
right now, standard waste streams that we collect at these beaches anyway. So we're talking recyclables, compostable, or non-compostable, non-recyclables. The regular stuff we're currently collecting would still be collected in these. What the difference here is that Moby will be a coastal litter receptor in the head of the whale. So if you look at the bottom picture, you can see two little windows. Those two windows will be available for people to throw coastal litter into. The coastal litter would fall into 3 separate barrels in the head of the whale. That would be serviced by hinging open the front nose of the whale and removing and emptying those barrels.
So those 2 slots are on each side, and those are for coastal litter. The wooden ones, are those also for people to come up and put in, or that's simply storage?
That's why
for
I'm
the DPW?
confused, right.
Okay, so the wooden ones are still for waste, just not coastal litter.
But if,
standard waste streams.
but say
But there's nowhere to put the trash into them, is what I'm saying,
The-
or did people open the doors
The
and
top,
the top
windows.
hinges.
The top windows hinge
Hinge.
in.
Okay, that's.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that
Is
wasn't clear.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
So the wood will be there, you put it in through the hinges like in the restaurant. The guys come along, they open the doors that are locked, they can take the receptacles out.
You got it.
Okay.
Why does it have to be a piece of sculpture like a whale?
Why does it have to be?
Yeah, why?
It doesn't have to be. This is part of the whole project. We were simply, we put out the beach enclosures to address the waste streams near the beach to make sure that we are not part of the problem. So we don't want windblown or seagull, vector-driven waste getting strewn about. This was an opportunity for the students to come in and to implement something similar to what's happening around the world, recognizing what's going on with coastal litter worldwide. Part of it is what's washing up on the beach, but part of it is coming from the island and blowing around, both from construction sites to visitors just either tossing it or losing track of it, and it blows around and ends up in the ocean. It kind of couples with a lot of different things that DPW is currently underway with, including the macro and micro plastic study that we've partnered with UMass Field Station here on Pulpus Road with, that's taking a look at Nantucket Harbor, and the South Shore for the baseline of plastics in our environment here on the island. So this is a little bit more clear picture for the head and tail. The mesh allows for a static display of coastal litter to be inside the whale and viewed from both sides. So the tail section will not function as a waste receptacle. It's going to be a display. It's going to have coastal litter inside, and people will walk by and be able to see it. You see how it's broken down here. The bus shelter is the tail section. The static litter display, the front part of the tail section. The wooden enclosures would perform as our regular DPW waste streams, and then the front is an opportunity for additional static litter as well as disposal of beach litter.
Okay.
There'll be some signage at the bus shelter area that talks about the project. It has a short message about being in memory of David, as well as the artist is local artist Billy Sherry, and some other messages. These are some iterations of the students' designs of getting the things iterated and various options that have been explored. Again, dimensionally, this is basically the center section is about 12 feet. That's 2 of our 6-foot units. So the head and tail make up the remainder of the 32 feet for that stretch right by the bike enclosures. There's some sign iterations, but at the end, you'll see this at the head, indicating to dispose of beach litter here, but reminding you that if it's recyclable or compostable, it needs to go into the center section with DPW will be removing that. The final current version of the informational sign at the bus shelter talks all about the why. Actually, it explains a little bit about why the sperm whale. It just ties back into the historic heritage, how you can make an impact, what coastal litter is all about, and how to spread the word. We think that this will certainly be a well-photographed location with visitors and residents alike trying to be a part of it and sharing that message with folks both on island and off, and really raising awareness. The students partnered with Marine Mammal Alliance in Nantucket, as well as DPW. And again, the end movie was made, is intended to be made in memory of David Ozias, and the sculpture is will be constructed by Billy Sherry. The students also took an opportunity to go out and meet with some school classrooms to talk about and raise awareness of the coastal litter issues. They've gotten some pretty amazing feedback from the intermediate school and Cyrus Pierce Middle School, as well as the Nantucket New School. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm happy to talk about or try to answer any questions you might have. That's basically what we're
Thank you, Rob.
You got it?
Yep. So, this is sort of a big project for us, so
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we don't somehow divert and somehow take this home and digest it, or do you want to talk about it now, or do you want to throw out some quick, I don't want to take the whole, so.
Yeah, I think we should talk about it.
Okay.
I do too.
All right,
We're
so
here.
So do I.
let's go around the table.
Okay. I'll go.
Okay.
Okay. Nice presentation. It's a way it's written up as a whale in my mind. It belongs in the kindergarten. But anyway, that's the presentation. All right. On it. This here, these measurements.
Inches.
They're
It's
so many
33.
feet. They're in inches. And eats up a lot of my time, figure out what the inches equal to. But anyway,
What do you think of the concept? Let's keep it sort of
Yeah.
general.
the location, if where you have it planned here, is on the inland side of the property. Why wouldn't it go, as you go up to it, on the left side, around the corner, so it won't be so much seen so much? This
The
should be an
plan
all.
is that it's an art sculpture, John, and it is intended to be functional and seen by everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be fenced in, right?
No, not fenced in.
Why does she fence work on there? Can you back that up?
No, that's what it's made out of. It's
mesh.
The skin is a mesh that you can see through.
This will be mesh, except for the wood.
Right.
Correct.
So would you mind going to the first one? The Yoshi and,
Yeah, very first.
because I think there's some,
That's what I saw, right there. Hey, no, next one. Next one. Okay, get the
oh,
fence.
wait. So John, this portion is gonna be mesh. Is that correct?
Yeah, the
metal
head and
is
tail
mesh.
will be see-through.
This will be see-through. So that it's like those with respect to architectural sculpture. The wood is gonna be, you see those?
Yeah.
Those 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of wood are actually the bins that you put the trash in.
Now, the bins,
Here,
these bins will be
they look
behind
like-
that?
They look like that,
Inside
but the
the
roof
whale.
is different.
So the center body, John, the center body is made out of wood.
Okay, all right, okay, all right. The rest of it, I don't know what it's made out of, all right? It doesn't show.
It's a steel mesh.
Mesh like that fish we saw.
Like what?
Mesh like the Yoshi and that whale and that. This metal is not solid, it's mesh.
It's mesh.
Like that. So you can see it. See through it.
It's meant to bring awareness to the litter, like to get people to pick up
Okay.
litter.
All right. I haven't been here too many years, but enough to learn something. This type of stuff, they call it art, okay, in my opinion. That's what they call it, art. You're gonna have, remember they put that giant down there at the Rotary?
Mm-hmm.
They never should have put it. It's not Nantucket. It's not historical and where it was going. Everybody in town sees it. You know, I'm definitely against all this stuff. They put the metal bicycle things downtown. Always had wooden ones. You got benches. The whole works.
Okay, so
We're on
that's
this,
that's his feeling.
Anyway, I want to go back on my comments on this. All right. I called it the Nantucket helicopter, and I wrote down another one. Oh, this is my own opinion. It's the second Nantucket submarine, whatever you want to call it, you know. But Moby, you know, it's just
4 months.
huh?
It's a seasonal
It's only
element.
there for 4 months.
Yeah, and then what happens in the winter?
They take it apart, it's segmented, see all those pieces?
Swims away.
They take it down and it swims to the Gulf of Mexico and it hangs out in Key West, gets warm. Can we move on, Madam Chair?
Yes, next.
Okay, I'll sum it up. This is not Nantucket. You know, what's the matter with the system we got now? Putting Miles Reese out of business? Who does that? DPW? You know,
Okay.
I need answers.
Man.
Where they coming from? From the board?
John,
Yeah.
please, this is out of line. We're not
due
here to
respect.
review people's businesses. This has nothing to
Okay.
do with someone's business. This
Okay,
is,
art is subjective, so John said it's,
Okay,
Steve, what
but-
do you think?
I'm talking about the visual effects of it.
I don't think he
can
likes
I,
it.
can I go now?
Yes.
Or do you want another 15
No,
minutes?
no, that's it.
Look, number one, I want to say something because I'm getting kind of sick of it as a commissioner. The DPW has come here to represent a community project. Whether we agree with it or not, we should be civil and genial. We should be extending an olive branch and not trying to exact a pound of flesh. I've sat here at this table too many times where that happens. If we disagree with it, we should disagree with it civilly and not get out of our venue. And I apologize for being passionate, but I'm getting tired of it. It's my turn to speak. Thank you.
Welcome.
Number two, I have a question for you, Mr. McNeil. Will this, there's other trash bins and stuff out there. There will no longer be a necessity for 4 sets of those? So this displaces those?
So we continuously look at what is required and where. These 4 are intended to replace all current waste bins that are on the opposite side near the concession, other than the one that's right at the concession condiments section. And we can still work with the new concessionaire where we have to deal with that. By the way, the concessionaire has their own dumpster on the opposite side of the building where it cannot be seen from the street. And that is serviced by their own hired vendor. These are emptied in the summer 3 times a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, I know. We got that on the capital side in terms of what needs to be done where. I guess what I just wanted to confirm was it's an accurate presumption that net, this is consolidating into, as you've represented, an artistic element for awareness, trash receptacles that exist there now. So it's simplifying them into one location versus having, one might argue, visual debris all over the place.
Oh, yeah. So if you're there late in the day, on any given day, just prior to us arriving, there's a tremendous amount of stuff that does not fit inside a lot of the bins. They'll fill up, but not these aren't out there yet. They've been just the barrels with the tops, and they spill out a lot.
Okay. So with respect to, thank you for that information. With respect to the design, my original understanding was that it was all metal and it was reminiscent more of like a C-53. Remember those old planes that we used to use to get over? That's not a detraction on the design. It's just that it immediately came to mind. So there's your historic Nantucket. The other thing I'd like to say is that I think it is important that we as a community are looking at awareness. I think if you look at our guidebook, if we care to read it more frequently, you'll see that there are various elements that are encouraged, are not disallowed outside of the historic district proper. The entire island is a National Historic Landmark. However, if you review the guidebook, it indicates that there is allowances outside of the historic district proper of Nantucket and the Scouts Historic District.
Thanks, Steve.
I'm not done, Madam Chair. I'd like to complete. I mean, we're talking about Miles Reese. I'd like to actually speak about the design, and I think it's fair that you be impartial as the chair. I think the fact that the metal is actually open mesh changes my perspective to a positive side, because I think it is a lighter element. If it were all metal, that was something I was concerned about. So that I think is a positive. And then with respect to having a chance to kind of digest this, I think it's not inappropriate to ask. I certainly don't think we're going to be in a position maybe to approve it tonight if it gets approved, but maybe we are. But I don't. It's a 3 month. Did you say 3 months? 3 to 4.
June, July, and August. This would go in Memorial Day and would be removed Labor Day.
So it's summer season proper installation. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Steve. Val?
I agree with Steve. Looking at the drawings, I was like, you know, but knowing that this is mesh and what its purpose is and all of that. Look, we're committing to a one season. If it holds people, you know, crazy, then we'll revisit with Mr. McNeil.
Is
It's not well received,
proposed,
but
one season?
Yes.
That's a lot of effort to do it for just one season and then not have it there.
Well, you still have the 4 bins.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work.
It's a very large structure, and there is nothing like it here. And I'm willing to go along with it because I like the idea of it, but I can't say for the rest of my life I want to look at it. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, and Jesse?
I'm in favor of it. Sorry, John. I think, you know, we're looking at a black asphalt parking lot, and this will be a nice little beacon in the parking lot. I think it's a great community effort, and that we need to really think about it that way. Litter is a huge problem, and our community is doing something about it, and I'm in favor of it. The only thing that I would add, you know, and just agree on the metal grate and so on and so forth is, you know, the signage. Do what we can to minimize the amount of signage that's on it, because I feel like it takes away from the art. And I think that's very important to show it as a display signage, and I'm actually more concerned about not the display signage saying that it was, you know, what it was from and all that, but more about how to get the litter into the bins. Any way that we can minimize the impact of that signage, because I feel like that actually takes away from the art. I truly appreciate the DPW coming here in front of us to present this, and I think it will be, and hopefully will be a positive impact on the island.
Thank you, Jesse. So
I have one comment.
Okay.
Mr. O'Neill.
Brief.
It's a fine presentation. I understand it well. Thank you. I understand it. Yeah.
Okay, so what do we want to do as a board about this?
I'd like to follow up on my comments. Jesse, Rob, would you mind pulling up the signage, just one of the shots?
Yeah, sure.
Because I
I
think
will, and I appreciate the comments, Jesse. I will say that there's been quite an iterative process by the students to take a look at signage, and what we basically have done is to pare down the signage to only what is necessary to provide clear direction on usability, you know, clear direction on the usability of the signage. So our bins currently, the ones that swing in, those have signs that are similar to what was shown. I think I already went past it. Sorry.
I think it was the last one you had the.
There's a small, yeah, you're right, sorry. This is
how I check the TV channels.
So it's something similar to this that would say compostable waste with arrows up to let you know. The head would have this one that says beach litter, and then it tells you not all. But
So-
if you find recyclables, it actually should go into the recycling bin.
Okay, so the question I have actually is just, that'll be like over our sign shop will produce that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, my only concern was that it not be a metal sign with painted lettering as opposed to something that's done, just so it has a kind of a Nantucket look to it.
Yeah, the only thing that we are doing on those beach enclosures, the wooden beach enclosures, they have, the signs are color coded, just like the waste streams. So you have green, you have blue,
Right.
you have the black.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's fine.
The only, I would call it, whatever you want to call it, the non-standard, this is going to be a 4x3 on the back of the tail section at the bus shelter.
Mhm.
And again, it would be done by our sign shop.
Well, the coloring, and I think that is all appropriate. My only concern, I think Jesse's comments I think all the comments were good. I think Jesse's comments with respect to signage was very thoughtful, and just with respect to what is actually on or near the sculpture, I just wanted to make sure that they weren't going to be more like a road sign, like a DOT metal with paint, but they would be something that's locally made, because I think that little detail translate, and it makes a difference.
And more, I think it's important is finding that fine line of where it's going to direct the user, but be the least obtrusive to the art. So whether that's a lower or a plaque on the ground, or maybe that won't work. I'm not one to really know that, but trying to find the least intrusive way. That and there's a fine line where you got to get the person there to put it in there, but at the same time, do it in a way where they make sure it's not obstructing the art.
So
We're definitely
least
gonna be
obtrusive as possible is what we're looking for.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
And we're clearly sensitive to the artist as well. We want to make sure that we're respectful of that. At the same time, make sure that it's functional.
Is it gonna be lit?
It will not be lit.
Okay.
There is a light at the pole that's at the bus stop. So, for whatever that.
That's just the bus stop.
Yes, that's a pole light for the parking lot.
Are
That
you-
pole.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Sorry, no, there's a light you can see at the end of Surfside Road. And
Oh, yeah.
And then the pole at the tail. That has
No,
a-
I was just wondering, like, sometimes they uplight all the stuff, like in the middle of the rotary.
this isn't.
I know
blind.
we don't know each other that well, but uplighting is not part of my vocabulary. When I moved here, my favorite thing so far is the night sky. So that, I got it back.
That's all, I was just
Okay.
wondering.
So
That's what I grew up with.
I'd like to make a motion to approve, subject to signage that is as least obtrusive as possible but still accomplishing directives. And we leave that to the applicant.
Can you write that on here?
Yeah.
And with-
For
Mr. O'Neill, I have a question.
Nick Neal.
You look at where the yellow is, that's where you put the rubbish in them boxes and
Wooden
behind
enclosures.
the fence, or whatever it is, behind the doors.
Yes,
You
sir.
open them, you put all your rubbish in there. All right, to the left, where you see that there, is that just screen work, or is that a wall, or what is that?
That's basically screen mesh.
I'm sorry?
That's mesh, screen mesh.
Mesh, okay, and the other's mesh.
Yes.
And this
Thank you.
is a seasonal, temporary.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Aye.
7 o'clock.
All right, all in favor of, whose motion was
Stephen's
that?
motion, I
Stephen's
think.
motion.
Aye.
Aye,
Repeat the motion, please. I can't hear it.
that the signage be as
Least
modified, sort of toned down.
Least obtrusive as possible.
Yes.
Signage as least obtrusive as possible while
Accomplishing its goals.
accomplishing goals.
All in favor of Steve's,
To approve it?
Yeah, mine.
Aye.
Aye.
Jesse?
Expect your verification.
John, do you?
He's a no.
No, I'm a no. So
Okay.
3-2, it passes.
I don't have enough information, I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. 17 and 18 are mine. I'd like to hold those till Tuesday.
Motion to hold.
Hold it?
What is, no, we're talking about Val's. What is that, Windsor?
Yeah, no, 61 Boulevard.
Motion to hold 61 Boulevard.
I'm sorry, could you speak a little louder? I'm getting a hearing aid.
61 Boulevard. I'd like to hold till next Tuesday.
Number 17 and 18.
17 and 18,
Hold.
Yeah.
You gotta it's gotta be like forgive me, but a dog command, because you can't hear the higher pitches. You gotta
Okay.
get low.
I'll get a microphone, a karaoke phone.
Good.
Okay, but what about one Windsor?
I'd like to do that. That's
Okay.
gonna be quick.
All right.
So we're on 19, John. We're on 19.
Don't forget, did you write in that it's seasonal?
I did. I was, no, nothing's getting by you, Madam Chair.
What are we on now?
It's not gonna be that bad.
One
It's gonna
Windsor
be a
demo.
refreshing change.
Can I have the pen?
Oh, the pen. Always.
I'll tell you what. If it isn't, I'll buy the
You'll
wine.
personally, well, it's gonna blow away in the first northeaster.
It's wire mesh. It's gonna. Welcome to the HTC.
This is very simple. 2 years ago, you approved a house to move from 39 Main Street in Sconset to this location in Sconset, 1 Windsor Road. That building has never been set down on its foundation due to many things. And so it is no longer viable as a structure. We'd like to just demo it. It's been open to the weather for 2 years. As I said, never set down.
All right. Who wants to go?
I have no issue with the demo.
Thank you. Next, Jesse,
No issue.
Steve,
I'd like to understand, Val, so what was the age of the house? What is the age of the house? I understand it was moved, but.
I believe it was like 1940s, 50s on Main Street in Sconset.
I have no concerns. I just, if it was an 1810 house that got moved to a lot, I'd be concerned that we'd set
That's
it.
why you let it move.
Yeah.
And Mickey Rowland replaced it with a very beautiful house. But as you can imagine, it's not worth doing anything with now.
John, what do you think? Just demo.
Demo, it's been sitting on steel for 2 years in a move.
John, we're already, just so you're aware, we've all looked at it and determined that we have no concerns. Because we
Does
looked
he
at it earlier.
understand?
We'll find out where it is first.
It's
here,
at the
look
end
at
of
this
Plainfield
with the-
Road in Wisconsin.
Well, Plainfield down there.
Yeah, look at the street
Down the end.
addresses.
John,
It's on metal.
Henry Coffin's daughter moved this house
Right.
to the site, but it never got set down. It's still up in the air and it's ruined, so we want to get rid of it.
Well, it doesn't, I don't think, I know the structure now that I see it. I don't think it has any historical value at all.
No.
All right, how about making a motion then?
So moved.
All right, all in favor of John's motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Better to move it than to destroy it, but in this case, it's.
Yeah, well, we tried.
Light a match.
2 years tried.
Okay.
Okay.
So are you this one, 9A Pilgrim Road?
Yeah.
A and B?
The guy who was here to talk about this had to leave. I'm happy to hold it if you want until next Tuesday.
It's kind of limited visibility. I mean,
Well,
I really had to look
yeah.
for it.
Can I ask what,
Which
Madam
one?
Chair, what do you mean the guy?
The contractor was here, but he had to go.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you meant there was
Yeah,
somebody in favor or
no.
against.
So, yes, and it's actually an as-built, but it's changing. So, I think I'd prefer maybe to hold it.
Motion to hold for representation?
Well, because he'll have the answers to what's going on.
Would you like to hold till
Both of them?
Tuesday?
Yes.
The 17th?
Yeah.
For both of them?
Yep.
Okay.
You want, wait, I missed that. What'd you just? what-
9A being held
We're
for
gonna hold it
representation.
because he had to go, was getting on standby on the boat, and we were taking our time, so.
Sorry, here we go. Okay, so we're holding A and B?
Yeah.
Okay, motion to hold, Pilgrim, 9A and
The
B.
building inspector was here to talk about it, but he left too.
All in favor? Aye.
Jeff Morash.
59
Brian
Orange.
Harris.
Hello.
How
are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
If nobody's here.
Welcome to the
who wants to
HTC.
talk about it.
Thank you.
Outdoor shower, this should be easy, okay.
What is
We're
this
all
one?
warmed up.
I know, I know.
Pardon me?
Has to be a bid.
I call them as I see them.
Oh, the way, it's right on the street.
Where are we rotation wise?
You can rotate in for me.
Oh, you're not on it?
I think I did you and I.
I'll take it. Would you like to?
Sure. The owner would like to add an outdoor shower, but so it's on Orange Street, and if you see, it's obviously can be visible from the street. On the pages 2 and 3, we'll show you the plan and photographs, but it's far back from the street.
This is where they want the shower.
And you can see yeah, right there.
Yeah, they want to put the shower step back on this side and brick the front.
I do have a question for you, though.
Okay.
It appears that you'll be within your setback.
Yes.
You can't do that, right?
Oh.
Zoning wise.
You can if it doesn't have a platform or deck.
If it's right on the
And not
ground,
attached to the
correct.
house. And that's subject to
The zoning officer.
officer's approval.
Let me read the HSAB, I just
Just to
got
be
these.
clear.
Oh, that's good.
Brick veneer, not appropriate. White foundation, not appropriate. Shower, okay.
Okay.
Brick veneer, not appropriate. White foundation.
It already has. So the other part of this is to actually do a brick face on that foundation at the base, which is just white painted concrete at the moment. So we thought we'd face it with brick and then paint it white as well.
Mhm. So, Madam Chair, may I just get clarification?
Please.
The HSAB has said that white is not appropriate, but it is existing white?
Yeah, it says brick veneer,
Veneer
not
is not
appropriate.
appropriate.
White foundation, not appropriate. So
But it is white in the images. It exists white.
It exists as white.
The
Yes.
last-
It always
white
has.
now.
It is white
Right,
now.
the
Yes.
last page was.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, the photos are in. Yeah.
so if it's white now,
That's the point I
that's
was trying to
existing.
make.
We just want to face it with brick and then.
Oh,
But veneer brick, you mean like real brick that's cut thin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or fake?
Thin brick.
No, thin brick.
Go with that.
but won't it, I mean, it would, what about that last row of clapboard? What will happen as it goes around the corner there? Will it, you don't
Well,
want the
it can-
veneer to stick
so it-
out?
Well, it will die. It'll actually wrap the corner and die underneath. You see the sort
Right.
of
Under the
column?
corner board?
Exactly. Exactly.
But what about underneath the clapboard?
You're talking about the thickness?
Yeah.
So typically this is a less than a half
Ex-
of an inch with, you're using a thin set,
Correct. Correct. So it should slip under.
so it should actually be
All right.
less.
So you want to veneer it and then paint it white?
Thin brick. Yeah.
Thin brick,
exactly.
yeah. Okay, got it. And that's it?
And then the shower.
Oh, and then the shower.
Can I get a clarification on some information?
Yes.
So what's your intended, I mean, this is right on the street, so I'm a little more curious than I would be normally. What's your intention with respect to the detail at the window casings? It's hard to tell from the images whether the image, it looks as if the casings are really jambs that are flush to the concrete. or do they protrude?
No, they're flush to the concrete.
And so the brick will terminate in a vertical, clean line,
exactly
edged over,
and look like it's the window.
To
jam.
do that, you maybe want to
extend that.
Yeah, no, well, push the window out further so that the terminus of the brick layer was into the window frame. So we didn't have an awkward slapdash brick veneer
like
put
just
to it.
face
And
to
you
it.
see the end cut of the brick veneer not terminating into the frame of the window.
Extend the frame of the window, you're saying. So that would,
either that or just uninstall it and push it out a little bit.
Okay.
Or I'm that's what I'm with you. I would suggest that if you were to extend it, it's painted white, you'll never see the seam. Half of the brick side will be hidden by the brick. The window side will be hidden by, you glue it and you paint it. So you would be able to successfully extend the jamb without having to move the windows.
Yeah, you probably, if it's a wooden surround, which it looks like it is, you can just apply it. And,
right.
Okay.
But I'm with TJ on that for sure.
Val?
I mean, the house next door is brick.
John?
The only thing I'm concerned about is he has to find out about his shower, because I think you're gonna have to find.
It's far back from the street.
No, I don't care for our purposes. I'm just saying they don't want to put it up in zoning. They're gonna.
It's because it's too close to the.
I spoke with somebody. He's got the office immediately to the left when you walk in.
Oh, the building commissioner.
Yeah, he said as long as it's not beyond like 42 inches.
It's a platform, so it's actually.
How are you going to get around to the back if it's so close to the property line?
So
because there's a path, there's a shared path.
Okay.
There's a shared path, and it would be just to the right of that path, so there'd still be plenty of room.
It wouldn't affect the path.
And we have it so you'd access it from the back, so you wouldn't even access it from the path.
I'd like to make a comment on this, is that I agree with ASAP that I'm fine with the brick veneer, but painting it white is just like something about the building not having that much contrast in terms of tonality. It would be nice, I was just talking with Marty over there about this. It was just, if you just put the red brick on, there's a lime wash treatment called the German smear that is brought up too, and it's a really nice effect. It's almost like a whitewash.
German smear.
German smear.
It would be a little bit more character than just putting a coat of white paint on it.
Okay, that's good to know. German smear.
It is lime wash, right, Marty?
It is.
Okay.
Well, we should put that in our comments.
Thanks, Mark.
John, do you have an opinion on this?
Yes, this I have an opinion on this.
Yeah.
Shouldn't happen. They should know with their knowledge of making these 3 recommendations. The building burnt down years ago. It was Ryder's Market. And then they replaced it with this.
Yeah.
Some people, rich people bought it, built a new house. But these recommendations here are completely wrong. It's already, I'm gonna say, give it its credit. It's already white foundation. So he has a right to repaint it the same color, all right? Brick veneer, that's there. You can't change it, it'll be under the paint. And the shower's okay. So I'm just saying that the recommendation on this is, I think is.
Aren't they saying it's inappropriate, John?
Yeah.
Aren't they saying inappropriate there?
Right, John's saying that it's already white, so how is
already
it?
existing,
It's
so he
okay.
says it's
And the
fine.
house next door
Oh,
has
okay.
brick.
All right, do we have a motion on this one?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Motion to approve with the treatment of the applied brick to be a lime wash, German smear.
Extra
Smear.
strength.
So you can get the white element back.
Okay.
Are
That
you
makes
okay
sense.
with that?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that'd be
Good,
nice.
okay. We have a winner.
Okay.
All in
Thank you.
favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve it.
Yes, with the German smear.
And if you have any questions about schmear, Marty is a well-known schmear.
He's a schmearer. That was 59 orange.
Thank you.
Thank
Would
you.
you mind writing it up?
Good to see you.
You need a 5-minute break?
Aye.
5-minute break,
What?
Madam Chair?
5 minutes, yeah. Do you mind? 5 minutes?
Bio break.
Is-
I gotta stretch.
idea. Hey, Marty. How are you? Good. How are you?
What you eating?
Yogurt and apples.
Have a nice roll. So there's nice signs for the.
Did have a good
Tree.
I was busy.
I would think so.
Good tree.
Well, you always do it. I always like to share. I like this.
So I don't think the DPW thinks that their signs need to go through sign.
Yeah, I mean, just the informational part of it.
Obelisks made.
Yeah, so,
one a year.
Yeah, you're
So the guy
down
made
here.
them finally and shipped them to me.
7 o'clock now.
In that giant box.
No, I would stay because,
And I
because
got
40
display.
gonna be heard.
And when I got the crate,
And
it was
so, I mean.
8 feet
Yeah, I
now,
mean,
because
it
everything
might
was
be-
metric.
I mean,
You know?
but it's just, this is
I'm
all
looking
the
at this
property.
box. I gotta do something.
Yeah.
I can't
Already
just,
been
you
taken
know,
and then
break
you're-
this thing and throw it away.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's a giant box.
Yeah.
I said, hell, I could rent this thing as a, you know, Japanese.
Let's get out of here by 7:30.
Put
By the
curtains on it and have it face the marsh in the back.
Oh, he didn't sign it.
Yeah, we give it back to you.
Are you guys on this one?
Yeah.
Vishnia?
Yeah, but the
It's true. It's true. So
I know the
John's
Marine
killing
Minister
me.
Party, I never looked at that one. It's too busy.
I didn't go through. I did see one. Matt Kecker did an incredible job on his this year.
Yeah, with,
With Jen on the guy.
Maybe we should get like a
Drawings.
Medias, though.
a microphone that has
He
a
has
speaker.
Excuse me.
So we all speak
He's
into
an
that.
interesting group of guys. You know, he's got this little quiet, super cool guy. Sits at the computer, works away. He's got Alex. No Russian. Lisa's working with.
This is one for the books.
Alicia.
This paragraph of the HTC. Oh, so it's being discussed, hasn't been noticed. Should be noticed. Just got brought up.
I think we're Scott.
We've been discussing the concept of some type of a special permit for something that would address the complexity of the fact that the old historic district gets prohibited pools across the street in an R1 or an R5 district. It's not. And the complexity that some of those zones that are R1 and R5 will likely change under the existing master plan. And how do you write that up? So then the idea was put forth that it's for discussion. As of September 2020, if you have an R5 lot, unless it's oversized, a pool would not be permittable. And that on the whole island, and that would address, because there's a similar problem with R5 out in Wisconsin. So that would
R5 doesn't it go in like different areas? Like, or what about RC2 or something like that?
They're phasing that out.
They're phasing that out.
But then it's,
We didn't sign this.
Some of that will be CTC.
but it's not R5.
It's not necessary. Some of it may be if it's next to
I don't know.
an area where, because there's some, I mean, there's some RC2 stuff that's not, it's residential near something that is, it's not commercial. So those might be R5. I mean, it depends.
Yeah.
So
I can't say no RC2 would become R5, but you know what I mean?
That's what they're trying to do.
Now, is this the mixed, whatever it is?
It'll be a planning board.
But was it through the same guy who wrote it last year?
He has been discussing it, Fritz McClure. And he's been discussing it, and it was brought forth as a concept for the planning board to consider, and we talked about it last night. I think from the HCC standpoint, and I think it's just myself as a citizen in Nantucket, in a 5,000 square foot yard lot where your house is capped, 50% of that.
I'm good.
I don't like noise coming into my house.
I get it.
I think that noise bylaw
I
should
totally
be
get
if
it.
your sound
You
carries
get up
over your
early
property
to get
line
out in the first part of it. You wait
at
till
a
the
certain
last.
time of
you, I
day,
got up
a certain
early.
time in the morning, it's a violation.
Right.
Because there are a lot, I mean, I know it's not urban, but we're closely.
Did you see the average?
So for me, the idea that you're preventing a pool is not, in those areas is not, I understand we want to have equity, but it's
R5
noise.
surrounded by nature. No neighbors.
Yeah, no
There are-
yawning.
All right.
I don't think.
23.
R5,
Yeah.
it graduates out to larger lots,
Attention, s'il vous plaît.
typically. Good word.
I think,
TJ and Jesse.
yeah.
Welcome.
Hi.
Mr. Howard.
He's good. He's out in Florida visiting his dad. Yeah.
Well,
His
this
dad
is-
just had a birthday, or his dad's birthday is today.
Wow.
My dad's birthday would have been today too. Our dads shared a
East Christian Avenue.
weird, huh? They would have shared a birthday. Not the same year though. But
How old is dad?
85 maybe. 86.
This is unusual with a flower, but it's pink.
Yeah.
John, that's the color that you want to paint your house.
How
Very
come I
good.
never get any information?
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Ah, I drew this.
We
You
just
did?
wanted to
In,
see it too, you know.
I was working for Chris Morey, I
Is that
think.
Whitey Willauer built it, right?
Oh my God.
So it
that's
can't be
right.
historic. You're not
No.
old enough.
That's all right.
Better get my rice pudding in.
What are we
So
doing,
this
Lisa?
is a move demo.
What
This is
demo?
the
Okay.
site that has the little beach shack that we renovated last year.
That thing is so neat.
Yeah.
It's like a little changing kind of cabana. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It was.
Oh, yeah.
It had like all those individual rooms. We kept
Yeah.
the doors, but now it's one big open space on
okay.
the inside.
Probably better use.
Yeah. I don't have that many friends that to go into those
At the
little.
same time.
Yeah, booths.
What do people think? Anybody want to go?
No problem.
Okay. Demo move. What do you think, John, of this?
I'm gonna drop something, I'm gonna pick it up.
What? We're losing control.
His marbles.
Those got dropped in.
I'm okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, demo it.
Jesse?
I'm good.
All right, I'm good.
Motion to approve.
Wait. Is that flash color or what is that?
Pink. I don't know.
In
It's,
person,
it's a really bad
It's a
color.
little bit different in person. It's more of a creamy, but that looks so orangey. Something.
Yeah.
It's putrid.
Although it's not as nice a color now because it's changed. It used to be that sort of yellow that Westcliff was
Oh, yeah.
painted
I
with,
didn't
but
say putrid. I said putrid.
this paint color didn't come out
Is
as well.
Westcliff the property next door?
Yeah, that's what the beach.
That's a
Yeah, that's a
beautiful
beauty.
property.
Yeah, and that's what the beach shack was built for.
There's a motion
And then when it got subdivided, it went with this property.
approve the demo.
Demo move off.
What do you think, John?
Anything,
wanted it-
anything to get rid of the pink.
Oh, yeah, I know, seriously.
You don't like the flesh-colored
So,
paint?
Did somebody make a motion?
I did.
Oh,
The
I'm sorry.
flesh-colored
Well,
paint.
God.
motion on the floor to approve the move off demo.
Aye.
Fine, has no historical value.
Oh. In jest, I would suggest that there be a condition that wherever it goes, the color has to change. Just
Okay.
in jest, just. in
Okay.
Well, we could make
This is
that
gonna
where
be a
it's
hard house to
Gotta
move.
be a-
I think they'd have to cut it up into multiple pieces.
What about a burn?
A controlled burn?
Yeah, a control.
No, well, if you just, I mean, they can,
Although we had somebody move a wing of a house.
right. If you just advertise it and the time clicks away, you can just.
Okay, that motion has been approved.
And then the next application is the house that's replacing this house. And it's the Gambrel.
Yeah, so, yeah, that Cambrel down on Grand Point has got me.
Which Gambrel?
The second, the one gambrel is fine.
Sophie's?
Second, yeah, the second
It's got
one-
that fake
It
stone
looks-
on the wall.
Yeah, but it also looks like a Dutch house instead of a gambrel.
Oh,
You know the one I
I don't
mean,
know,
down
what
near
number
the
is it?
triangle at the
Oh.
beginning
It's
of
right on the
Holbrook.
circle.
Oh, across from
two
John
Holbrook.
Kerry's old house.
Yeah.
I heard it's huge and super tall, and
Guys,
Well, it's in
we
the-
shouldn't be discussing.
I haven't
No,
seen
we're
it.
not, we're talking about gambrels, and now we're moving on.
So this is roughly in the same location, although I do have an updated site plan that puts it a little bit closer to the road. But it's basically, if you look at the site plan, this house proposed is very similar in scale to the house that's there. It has a single-story wing off to one side that's gonna house the kitchen, and then the rest of it is 2 stories, gambrel. We're thinking that even though the beach shack is yellow trim, that this one does not want to be yellow, that we're thinking it should be white.
Okay.
Because it's so far away, you don't really see the relationship of the structures to each other from any place.
Anybody get a chance to go out there? I did.
I did. It was a nice ride out, too.
Yeah, that, once you find it.
Except for that hairpin turn, that's a very.
It's hard to find.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I think it's certainly
I
in
go
scale of the
last.
neighbors and.
What do you think, TJ?
I think the house works. I had like 2 comments that I'm not exactly hard and fast on, but they're suggested. You know.
Mhm.
I think the house works. I noted that on the West Cliff next door that I really like I'll preface it by saying a lot of homes are being built up with like built up trims and everything. Not that this is too built up. I think you have 1x8s on the rakes and everything.
Yeah, we usually do a 1x8 with a crown.
Yeah, I like the slimline trim on the house next door. I know it's kind of it seems like old and outdated, but I think it would be a good, nice nod to the neighborhood to slim the trim down, and also instead of white, go with like more of a linen or a canvas color. Also as a nod to the one next door in the building in the trim that's existing on the property now. Because when I went out, it wasn't that pinky color. It was more like creamy. Not that it was the best shade, but I think a linen or a
You
canvas.
love that color, just say it.
I think the only thing that I would say about that is I think he wants to make himself distinct from that property.
Oh,
You know,
in
and the
contrast
beach
to-
shack is not because of the trim. The trim I certainly will take a look at. I think the beach shack, because it was historically built for that property, makes sense to be connected visually with color. But I think I'm not sure about this house yet. You know, because I think then everybody will read that as one
So
one
just
combo.
a
Yeah, that makes
white.
sense.
Yeah.
I see that.
Okay. Jesse, are you on this?
So,
Yeah.
I think it's a nice design and appropriate enough in size and mass. What's the color?
I'm hoping white. I mean, I'm thinking white at this point. That's what we put on.
I think to help guide down the white is possibly doing cottage corners.
I did that on the dormers. You'll see,
Oh, okay, yeah.
but not on the single-story mass.
But again,
The back's a lot of white doors.
yeah,
I think, I mean, the visibility of the rear is it's non-existent.
From the water?
No, well, you'd have to be really far out there. Because you can see the beach shack from Dionis Beach, like as you get closer, but I think it's really hard to see his house because it drops off pretty dramatically. Actually, there's a fair amount of erosion there. There's that secret beach you can get to, but even that I think is really far.
Where's the secret beach?
There's like a
Is it Dionis?
No, it's if you make that turn, there's a path on the left.
Between Eel Point and Dionis, is it?
It's to the right. So from Dionis Beach, it would be to the right. So you'd walk down Dionis and you keep walking.
Oh, okay.
It's a really nice design. I think you know, maybe a different color than white or garage corners, just to not make it so stately. Tone it into the nature a little bit.
Okay, Val?
I've got nothing. Wood roof, Lisa?
Yeah.
Nice. No solar panels?
No solar panels.
Thank you. On wood.
Wood set solar panels.
Tesla. Shingles.
They haven't come out yet.
No, they haven't. In California, I think.
This is the, no, Tesla's the.
That guy's all like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Alrighty then.
We have a winner.
Thank you.
You're kind of moving fast, though.
Oh, you know what? I just have to put in the other site plan, which
The
brings
other
it-
wing?
No, it's the site plan that brings it out of the septic circle. You'll see. It pulls it slightly closer to the road. Sorry.
The
Yeah.
house? Okay, so I have that.
Yep, and there's the reduction.
So are we now sewer people? Why
No. I just moved it after I submitted it. I realized that I was going to be within the 20-foot circle of the septic system, so I wanted to shift it forward. But I know
Can
you
we add
guys
that
don't.
to your motion, John? That this is.
Updated
is this a
site plan?
separate application or is this?
No, just an updated site plan for the application.
All right,
That's this.
just,
Yeah.
we added the sewer beds onto that plan.
I got you.
Can you show John the sewer beds? Is that, sorry.
Yeah, it's on here. So, does this one reflect it too, or no?
I don't think so, but I have a
Okay, so I'm not even gonna get into it.
Okay.
All right, that's okay too.
Sorry, Madam Chair, but you know how it goes. So what's this one?
Garage.
The garage.
That's yours.
Oh,
So we want to keep you in the loop.
all right.
Respect your authority.
It's
Yeah.
a studio.
Garage studio.
So I guess the trim's gonna be right on this one.
You never know. You know, it's early. He might want to come back for a different color.
There's a lot of white out there, though.
That canvassy color's
There
not
is.
bad.
Anything but that.
But there's a line.
I don't know. The hard part is that then if you have to get storm windows,
Yeah.
you have to get, well, yeah.
And the white stands out. Yeah, it looks.
Looks dirty.
Yeah. No,
What
you're
do
right.
people think? John, what do you think?
Marvin makes storm windows that match.
I think it's lovely.
Goes with.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna hear what Johnny has to say.
Oh, he's measuring something.
The deck.
Welcome. 27 by 23, just what I've been looking for.
All right.
The upstairs, the downstairs, is a one-person house.
You saying you live there?
John, I'll build one on my property. We'll swap.
You take my house,
Well,
4-bedroom house?
no. We'll talk about it
You've
later.
already got 6 bedrooms now.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right, Val? Ethical Development Corporation?
Lisa, is the site plan right on that one?
I don't know. I could have for the building location. I'm not sure. I'll have Robert update it.
Okay.
It would have moved concurrent with the house, so I'm just
Okay.
not sure.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
12 Fulling Mill Road. 12 Fulling
Mill Road. Yeah. Site. So this is a client that owns 10, 12, 14. So basically, Fulling Mill Road from the start of 12, which you'll see on the site plan, becomes a private driveway. And it's a dwelling, but it's really a dwelling only because you can't have just a barn. You can't have an accessory structure without a dwelling unit, so there's an
Right.
apartment in it. But it's really, the idea was to make it a big barn, a gym.
So a farm can't have.
No, property can't have accessory structures without having some sort of dwelling on it, and that's so, that was like when the pig farm thing happened, that, remember out on Diana's Road?
You can have a
Other than
garage.
the dwelling must be accessory to an existing dwelling on the property.
You can have a garage but it has to be by special permit,
You have to go to the planning board?
without a dwelling
Yeah.
inside. Just so you know, there's a.
Somebody put a pig farm on Dionis Road and they didn't live anywhere near that, and it was like,
just.
how is that for your neighbors?
It looks like a
Yeah,
barn.
it's a pig pen.
Yeah, so we wanted to have the big doors face the driveway as you come in, so it really has the appearance of a barn.
The pig farms?
No,
We
the
tried to keep the
was
roof line simple. The stone chimney matches stone on the house, which is on number
Point of order.
14, sorry.
Who's acting on this, the board?
Oh, is it Steve?
Steve.
and-
Me and Jess.
Okay, thank you.
So. John, do you love this?
Color of the doors.
We put them as a blue for now.
Oh.
Mineral alloy, just sort of a grayish blue. The sash was going to be white. Oh.
I have no concerns.
Oh. Val, what did you say? Yeah.
I asked what color the doors were.
John?
My only comment would be, could you put the, reverse the doors, put the cross box always on the inside and have the boards on the outside?
They like
instead
the
of
cross.
everywhere?
They do like the cross bucks. They like the cross bucks. They wanted them on the outside. Because they had them at the Great Harbor Yacht Club on one of the buildings. They took a picture of it.
But
They're
you
like,
have
we like
the
these doors.
tongue and groove here. You wanted the cross box.
Huh? On the big doors.
Oh.
The side doors, I got rid of them because I felt like that was a lot of cross bucks.
Only a suggestion.
I'll
Or
ask them.
barn door, I don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Those are big doors too, so I felt like they could use to be
Yeah.
broken up a little bit. I think
They look like a barn.
10 feet wide or something.
He tells me no one's gonna see this.
Well, I think particularly because if you look at the site plan, he again owns from, my God, I'm confused now. From the way, Chadwick Court, he basically owns from where Chadwick Court meets this way. He owns all of that back there. So it'll look like a private driveway.
Did I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't say anything, just do it.
Take that.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Motion to hear 16,
Grove Lane, let's say it together.
Oh,
number 12.
we're going back to that? Okay.
Repeat that.
I'll have to tell Ray how efficient you were without him.
Oh, don't tell him that.
Don't jinx us.
No.
Just
That's because so many people
We've had a lot of
because he wasn't
pushback.
here. We have a ton more applications for next week.
After you hold it.
Well, then you should.
Okay, so 16 Grove Lane. Need elevation, cross sections, screening plan.
Well, I've got photos of the, it's already built and it's not really visible except from Grove. Like you can't see it from New Lane.
Wait.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, yeah, just
Apologize.
there's a few more things here. Screening plan, it says something, view, oh God, what does it say? Visibility and proximity to new lane is imperative for AC and retaining. Screening plan,
Oh, okay.
given visibility and proximity to screening plan.
If it at all ends up an issue, I am glad if you would put it on a view, but there is a massive hedge on New Lane that's been there for a very long time that you can't really see anything from New Lane.
Probably if you put that on the plan, it
I
would have
should
obliterated there.
Yeah.
Find a spot.
I know this site, and he's right. You can see the top of the building, but there's hedges all the way around.
So if we keep the hedges,
Yeah, and maybe we could just have them mark up the plans in the office or something to show the screening.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
And so the idea would be that the screening obviously remains, and I show it on the plan.
Yeah, just because it
Yeah.
will.
I'm absolutely fine with that. I mean, she has no intention to cut the hedge down. She likes the privacy from the new lane.
I think that if I was going to make a motion, that would be it for him to add what's there for existing screening, and it will clearly show that.
okay. All right. Jesse? You are right with it after that statement?
I think so, yeah, makes sense.
John, what do you think about the retaining?
One question, are they gonna pinch in the air conditioners?
They were hoping not to have to do that based on the big hedge that's on the front of the house. They were hoping not to based on the big hedge. It's screened from New Lane with the big, huge privet hedge.
Well, this is the side, right?
Yeah, that's the
They're
side.
in there existing.
Yep, they're already there. It's they already put it in.
You're gonna put something around it?
No, we were hoping not to because it's you can't see it from the road.
God, how do you feel about a not visible at time of inspection?
Right.
and
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
John, he's going to add the vegetation on the plan. He didn't show it.
The vegetation's not here. This would be approved subject to not visible at time of inspection or thereafter.
Yeah.
So whether he puts a
can you
fence
see it?
here or whatever, it's not the motion will be that it's not visible at time of inspection or thereafter. So you can't see it. That will be the motion.
No comment.
No comment? Okay. Well, Val, you want to repeat your motion?
I would say approve through staff adding the existing vegetation on the plan so that it's clearly seen and that the AC units are not seen at the time of inspection and thereafter.
Very good. All in favor of Val's motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You are excused.
Time for a motion to adjourn?
Not
Almost.
yet, Marty.
Well, Marty McGowan's been quiet, and there's another young man in the back, so I don't know.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Matty?
Oh, I have to head out. Have a great night.
Have a good one.
Yeah,
I think you're next.
Merry Christmas. We're not meeting Thursday, are we?
No, hang on.
We're not gonna see each other.
What?
I'm 27.
Wait a minute.
What number are you?
Oh, well, Merry Christmas anyways.
We're meeting next.
Yeah, you get 18 Orange Street, right?
You're after Marty.
Who is?
Thank you, Jay.
One more person and then you.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Marty McGowan.
Here you go.
Our favorite site.
No.
Is it?
No.
One.
Oh, no.
Leave me alone
Dos.
there, John.
So I've been engaged to provide landscape services to this project. And so I recommended a relocation of the existing spa, but the existing spa is on 16. And I want to move it to the center or the center of the space, but for 18.
Okay, Marty, can I read this?
Sure.
Historic structure. Okay, location inappropriate will be visible from Orange, better between house and auxiliary structure. Coping
The
will,
gazebo.
coping will be 1 foot to 8 inches above grade.
Huh? Okay.
Where is that on the drawings? The coping height.
The spa's at lawn height. It's not up in the air.
This is the property that keeps coming in with all kinds of things in the middle there. I went by there today and it seemed as though there was a little shed
Yeah, there is.
in the middle. Is that on here? Is that little
I
box?
can show you a picture of it. It is on the plan. This is, I'm going to a meeting tomorrow with these people, and this is my plan. I think it's a better, easier thing to look at, perhaps. So,
John.
So where was the spot, Marty?
the spa was here.
Okay.
John, pay attention because.
Hey, John, wanna look at this one?
No, hold it up.
That one's bigger.
Like you did.
Sorry. Okay, I got another one.
Oh, yeah. It says the top of wall 50.7, bottom wall 49.
So, let me show you here, John. Roy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this spa is sitting right here, right now.
Yeah.
On this red, where there's red boxes. Okay, but that's lot 16. Okay, it's approved, it's there. So I want to just relocate it over to here.
Has this been built already?
Yep. It's, you won't see through here, and I'll show you. Okay, so.
Where's that pergola that we just?
You gotta show me a lot.
You know what, Marty? This plan probably would have helped with the HSAB because it's completely different from what we have.
Yeah, this is generated this morning. This is new for my meeting tomorrow. Let me see what I can do here.
But Marty, this is completely different.
What do you mean?
The application versus what you have here.
Well, I mean, there's
Okay, well, I'm
gates.
applying for a spa in a location. That's all I'm applying for.
All this
why-
other
why
red
is all
stuff
this
is-
stuff-
No. This is not before you today.
That's proposed city hall.
This is a new plan, not this plan. See here? This is number 18. This property is the entire property. So guy bought 18 and 16,
Right, okay.
putting it together.
Marty,
Yeah.
if this isn't before us, then it shouldn't be before us. If this is what's before us, then it should be before us.
Okay, so this is the view from the street.
Am I missing something?
That's the view from the street.
Yeah, there's a little building there.
Right, and the building stays. You guys have already approved some additions or like refinements to the building, but the shed stays.
This is coming out?
So
No.
where's the building
What you
in the
just say
plan
is coming out of
that you submitted?
This isn't in front of us, John.
Okay.
What?
This is not what's in front of us.
Right? This was the as-built of where the shed
It's
was.
this one.
This is where the shed was approved.
Kevin,
This plan.
Yeah.
larger format.
No.
Yeah, it's right there.
There's a shed.
There it is.
This you see is when you look in this way, right? On the street, you see this?
I don't know, John. I don't.
That's going to, that shed is going?
No,
Bigger
no,
plan.
it's not part.
It's there,
It's not
it's
part
been
of it.
approved.
No,
Okay.
it's something else.
Be
Yeah, I'm not arguing.
improved.
It's not part of what we're looking
I
at.
just saw something, I thought, that's all.
But it's not part of what we're reviewing.
Right.
It's right over here.
Oh, way
Around
over there.
that corner.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Around that corner.
So you just want to center that spot.
All I
far
want to do
end
is
of
put the spa on the other side of
I
the,
get it.
what is now to be the shed.
Okay.
So all I want to do is move it from 16 to 18, but because there are two properties, I had to make another application.
But the shed stays to.
Shed
screen it.
stays. Yeah, you aren't going to see it from the road.
Okay, because that would be part of the motion, I do believe. You wouldn't want to be going down Orange Street and seeing people in a spa.
Well, what about Union?
It's upstairs.
If
Union.
it's not raised, then
It is raised.
No, it's not.
This drawing, Marty, indicates that it's raised.
You mean the 8 to 10,
It states right on it.
8 to 10 inches?
Top of wall 50.7, bottom of wall 49. So it's a foot 8.
No, oh, the wall is beyond so that's going down the cliff. You know, it's top of Orange Street. The bluff is there, and there's
Yeah.
a wall there. There's a existing retaining wall there. And so there's a hedge behind it. And it's like, I don't know, 2.5 feet high or so, maybe 3 feet high. So it's pre-existing.
Does
It's
that keep
pre-existing.
you from seeing it from Union?
Yeah, it's got a hedge in front of it.
So to be clear, the drawing that's submitted, wherever it says proposed, the spa says add spa. Everywhere else it says proposed, you're not proposing anything. It's only the spa.
Proposed stone wall,
It says
that's
proposed
existing.
stone wall.
That is existing. This is a
Proposed-
previously, the spa is drawn on top of a previously used
Okay,
landscape.
that's
plan.
why I.
Sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah.
none of the other proposed is actually proposed.
No,
And just to make it a little more confusing, the shed is in the middle between the two trees. It's been moved and approved, and there's a picture of it.
Okay, yeah, that's because, and then that other drawing just made it even more confusing, so.
Well, so maybe we should have everything on one plan.
Certainly, I think that
If,
maybe we should request that for, if we're going to approve it through staff, that we get this plan properly done. Although it'll be
the shed is being torn down, rebuilt,
in the same
and is
spot.
sitting in that spot, waiting for redo. So this is not an as-built. It's not a, it's not, the shed's been approved to be taken down and a new shed built in that spot,
In that spot.
in that spot. But that's not part of me. I'm only spot in this spot.
For us, it helps us for viewing.
Oh, I agree.
So that's the only reason, it gives us.
I could put it on, but I could not verify that it was, other than showing you in the photo where it is,
Right.
I can't necessarily,
So there's a little shed in the middle of these two trees, but somehow, some way, the 55th incarnation that we had finally got approved somehow of a new shed. I do remember that.
So I would just like to suggest that the shed we understand is approved. Marty has represented, and Marty, correct me if I'm wrong, that this will not be visible. So, and based on the fact that it's not a raised coping, I would suggest that the approval would be subject to not visible at the time of inspection or thereafter. And if he's got a shed there, great. If he's got something else there,
from Orange
Because you can't see it.
There is
as
a
long as
shed
it's
next to it.
HTC approved, that's great. But
The
Marty's saying,
shed must stay.
This is better.
no,
This is
Marty's
from
saying that
Orange.
that's coming out. We've got another that's been approved to be there.
So Marty,
Yeah.
did you
Huh?
hear?
They need bigger plans for the building department.
Just, we're gonna.
I would think
we're-
so.
We're thinking of approving this based on the fact that you will not see it.
Is this
Yeah,
a
you
little bit
cannot see it.
So
cart
we're gonna
before
put
the
that as a
horse?
clause.
Even if you were standing on
No,
the
they have
lawn,
a shed approved
even if you were
already.
standing on the street, you wouldn't see it because
But it's not that shed.
at grass.
It's a replication of that shed. Matt did it? Was it
Because
Matt?
there's a lot of things that are missing from this. But
We approved
you're not
it
gonna
2
see
or 3
you're
weeks
not gonna
ago.
see it.
You're not gonna see it.
So that's gonna be our,
gates.
subject to
You
that.
can shut.
Right, so that,
Off the vision, right?
Right.
so
Gates closed.
what this does is this protects us. If Matt comes in and says in a month from now, with no maliciousness, they don't want the shed, that's fine. But Marty moves the spa, it's not approvable unless it's not visible. It just simplifies it.
Should I be providing you with a picture of this with the gates closed?
I think what would be good
No,
is just
no.
a bigger size paper with
With
what is actually approved.
yeah, I would like to see that shed there.
I could ask Matt to give me that plan and then I could put the shed on it. If you'd like,
Yeah.
if I may, if I provide that particular piece of paperwork for you, which is just paperwork for me, would it be approvable by staff if it was appropriately displayed? The way you want it done? I don't care.
I don't think we need to get that complicated, but if you
Right,
guys
we
want to
got
do
you-
it, great.
We got you approved, as long as we can't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Deal.
you think the shed needs to be in there, we could say as a condition, for instance, that if you think it should be the previously approved shed that blocks it and only that shed, we could say The spa will not be visible at time of inspection and shall be screened by the previously approved shed. End of story. If you want to submit new drawings, we can do that too. I don't know that it needs to be more complicated than it.
The problem for me is that when the people go to inspect, there's 17 different plans. Oh, don't look at that proposed. It's this only, this on this one.
Yeah.
If it's all on one, it's clean.
This is a total, this.
Why
yeah,
can't
I
Marty just
100% agree.
resubmit it
It
with the,
plan,
with
they should be
the
where they're
shed
supposed
that's going to be there?
But to get it approved.
Right.
We can do, he can do it through staff, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying is do it
Okay.
through staff.
I'm happy to,
I'd
I'm
like
happy
to
to provide
I'd like to
anything.
see that.
Because, by the way, guys, I'll tell you what. I'll be back.
Yeah.
You don't want us to do it through staff?
No, I do, but
Yeah.
I will be back. Anything, you know, and I'll make sure that that shed's in the right place on the next plan.
I'd appreciate that.
Because
All
that,
right, so I
after
would make a
tomorrow's
motion
meeting,
to approve through
I'll be back
staff
again.
General said that. I'll be
with,
I'll be
He
back.
did come back.
And you're right.
approve through staff with you bringing in a larger set of plans
Full
showing,
scale. Yeah.
showing what's actually
Just the
where.
spa,
Just the spa.
as proposed.
With the shed.
No, I'll put the shed on.
Yeah, but you're
just so you
missing,
know.
you're,
Yeah, I am
don't
missing
care.
it,
There's
because
a
you
whole
just
bunch-
said there should be a caveat.
well, no, I'm just saying there's a whole bunch of stuff on that drawing. If he just brings that in larger,
It's one of the, now.
almost
they're
everything that's
12 by
labeled on there
16.
says proposed. So I'm just saying that.
All right, you make the motion.
No, I don't want it. It's not, I just want it to be clear.
It's a very easy motion. It's
Yeah.
the same one we use all the time.
Larger
Which we talked
plan
about
through
before.
staff.
It's not visible at time inspection
Right.
thereafter. Done.
Done.
All right, all in favor of, whose motion is that?
I guess mine.
Jesse's.
Yours, yeah, Val's.
Yes.
Okay.
Larger plan through staff not visible at time of inspection and
All in
thereafter.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who knows where that
Yeah,
shed will
I'm
be next?
gonna recuse.
It's just the spa.
But
Thanks, guys.
you're missing my point.
No, I got your point. I'm just saying that to me.
We have to knit 5
doesn't matter
different
because
landscape plans
We
together.
don't. What happens is this, is the inspector could go out and approve the spa.
But what if
or
the
shed.
inspector
Let's
misses
get out
it?
the wet noodle and whip Marty with it.
Just
No, he'd like
give
it.
us more
Everything for
information.
everyone. We've made an approval. You
Take
can't
control.
see it.
Well,
Done.
it would be better if there was all the information was on the.
I don't disagree, but what was on there was
Sorry.
incorrect. I don't agree. Welcome to HDC. Now that you got our all blood.
When
Madam
somebody
Chair.
comes in for a revision to what?
Well,
it
I
should
don't,
just
you
put
know,
their-
I have a little brain and a
56 lovers.
Yep.
I don't believe that.
what?
Abby, good job.
Oh, really? Right.
John, you're just saying that because she agreed with you.
Yeah, you.
We know.
Wicked, wicked, wicked. This is a
What
very
address
strange
are we?
house.
So it is 50, it's actually, it's one or the other, 56 Lovers or 2 Orkawa.
Go with 2 Orkawa because
Yeah.
that's what's on the agenda.
Right, okay. So it's right at the very corner.
New dwelling.
And yeah, it's a vacant lot, a lot of trees and
No.
Is this got a
I signed it. You said
house
no.
on it
I
that
was
was?
as chair.
it may have been
Had to
moved,
be a
but it's
chair.
empty now. At the middle of it's cleared out, but the perimeter's all trees and pretty thick brush.
But I have to. Somebody has to be chair. Sorry, what?
She was asking if there was a house, the previous house there.
Oh.
I think there was one before, but the previous owner moved it. So it's totally empty right now. The middle area is cleared out. The rest of the perimeter's just pretty trees
We're talking
and
about
thick
me,
brush.
right? Jess?
Miriam Varian's next door, right?
Me?
I think it's the Velocity.
You what?
Or maybe you're right. I'm not entirely sure.
I wasn't talking about you, but we'll
Oh, okay.
Because I think it was subdivided.
Okay.
The Bossities.
And isn't there a substantial dip in the middle?
No, it's pretty flat. Very
Okay.
flat. Yep.
wants to go first?
So,
I do. I think it's
Okay.
a very appropriate design,
okay.
except for, is your north elevation facing the street?
No.
Your
South.
east is?
No.
Or which street?
Or
South.
South.
Yep.
Okay, you got a front door. Awesome.
Yep.
My comments stand.
I think the front is nice too. I'm a little concerned about the east and west, the big giant box,
Okay.
but is there any way to, no, I guess you can't.
Bring it down, 30, and make.
No, because if he makes it a 7 pitch, it's gonna look even worse. Okay, well, so we got a couple of things jumping around. We've got about 5 different pitches
Yep.
on this building. We've got a 3, we've got an 8, we've got a 6, we've got an 8, a 5, a 9, an 11.
And a 3.
I was good because you didn't have a 1 on there.
Yeah, that would be nice to have more consistency in them.
So 3 is typically not approved.
Okay.
We kind of like to have a minimum of 4. If there was a way to sort of maybe make the porch roof somewhat consistent, because they're the ones that seem to be the most mixed up.
Okay.
The front is fine. It's the big box that has me concerned, and it's right on the street.
You mean on the east?
The east and the west. West primarily, because east faces into the lot.
Yeah, the west is way more visible.
No, I guess it's all right. Just try to make the pitches consistent, like the 9 bumping into the 8.
Yeah, why couldn't those two be the same? You see
Well,
how you have 12-9, 12-8, and they could be parallel to one another.
Okay.
That would.
Or maybe
so just
take the
bring the ridge
9
down.
and shoot it up, and it will be a joined roof or something.
Okay.
Do you see why I'm saying
Yeah.
that? Because when you look, especially on the sides. it's-
Okay, so you want those to be the same.
Yeah.
All right.
And west. So north is what faces the street. And the north is nice. That's my only concern.
Okay.
Finessing your pitches a little bit.
Jesse?
I agree with that on the pitches, and then, not sure if we can do anything about it, but the D windows on the east elevation look a little squat.
D's on the west.
Not sure, it might be just the drawing, I think, I don't know. Any
Well,
suggestions?
they're on all the elevations, the D.
On the east, the ones in the big square.
Those must be kitchen.
Maybe that, if you made those windows bigger, it would take up some of that.
I think those are in the kitchen.
Those are counters.
Yeah, counters.
Is this second floor get counters?
Those, yeah, there's a vanity right in front of that one.
It's just kind of.
Maybe it can broke them up.
Can I keep the ones on the bottom and change one up top?
Yeah, I mean, it's
South elevation.
not that big of a deal, just.
Is it an upside down house or is it?
No, it's pretty normal, traditional.
Over something like this, so it's a little.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if there was maybe a.
I originally had that one, the east facing the lovers, and that's why I changed. I put this one on the side that you won't, it's not quite
Can
as
you
visible.
put a window, a tiny little window, maybe up in the gable?
Yeah.
To
Yep.
sort of mitigate some of that.
Just a square.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and center it right under that eave.
Yep.
I don't know if your the double window, the 2 ganged ones are centered exactly under that eave.
On those
Yep.
windows, those D windows on the second floor, if you made those just each unit 2 inches thinner, they would be more proportioned to.
Larger.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 inch
Okay.
vertically.
Yeah, well, if you thin the width up by 2 inches, you don't have to change the height, because there's a vanity there, and he's trying to match his interior head casing heights around on the interior. So that would thin him up.
Okay.
The question would be then, you know, do you thin up by 2 inches downstairs on that same elevation, so the windows are similar?
Yeah.
To the same,
You've got
okay.
enough room.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then,
to be
and I think
consistent.
that becomes more important for that window in the
Above.
eve, because then you're adding a little more shingle to the.
Yeah, a 4-light.
On that east elevation, on the,
Were you seeing it that long?
Yeah.
on the second
Up here?
floor, east elevation,
Yep.
is there room for another window to be across from that?
Yeah,
Let's
see.
It kind of affects the room, but
It just looks
It's-
like a hole, like an empty spot there.
Where's that?
What's
I
the,
ca-
East elevation, far
there's a
left,
bed.
second
Yeah, I
floor.
was gonna put a bed on that wall.
Well, put a
I
fake
can-
window in.
what's the visibility before we start putting in fake windows?
This is not very visible.
No, this
Yeah.
side isn't.
Okay.
But
screw
the
that.
but the west elevation and then south.
Sorry,
are-
I just have the fake window.
Do we want to have this come back to us with the eaves changed?
I think
Yeah, I think.
just a little bit revision
Minor
on
revision.
some of your
Minor.
pictures and,
Okay,
and you're
so
fine. The
be more
massing is
consistent.
generally
Yeah.
fine.
Roof
Alright.
pitches,
Yeah.
change those windows,
Little
add the
window
4
up
light.
Yep.
You'll be good.
Got it.
A little larger. All right, motion
I have a
to,
comment
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
add
sir.
that.
on the, I'm confused on this, the house. North is this way, as it says.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Done.
This is
Well, we've got a cabana and a.
You're right.
that's
Yep.
east, this is south.
Correct.
Okay. You have here,
Yep.
here, a small deck. So this is north, so this, north
Okay.
is this elevation.
What about
Yep.
the cabana and the pool though?
So the
Two lengths and long ones. Okay, I'll go to this one here. The same thing happens here. It's gonna be 4 inch, not 3.
oh, is it not
That's
the-
all. That's the only thing, that's one of their requirements. 4 inch minimum on a shed roof.
Okay.
So that's.
Yes, I think so. Yep. So yeah, 4 inches minimum.
There you go.
Got it.
Nice looking house.
Thanks.
Motion to hold for revisions?
Minor revisions.
Okay.
Good job.
Thanks.
Nice job. Thank God. What's that?
Not in front of the house?
No, yeah,
It's
and
perfectly perfect.
It is.
Yeah, very nice.
what are you doing on the shower enclosure? V groove vertical or?
V groove vertical. Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
What are the colors?
Of the
Trim.
all white.
Nice. I'm typically an anything but white guy.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a lot
But
of white
it's
in
gonna
that
look good.
neighborhood.
I think all the neighbors are.
Yeah, it's
white.
gonna look good.
Right.
We're passing this anyway.
The
Yeah.
previous application, where, you're gonna have air conditioners?
Yes.
You gotta show where the fencing, come back later, another application.
Yeah, I can. I'll draw. I didn't think I got the fencing around it. If I fence that, is that okay where it is though?
Talk to Lisa.
No, the air conditioning.
I love it.
Sorry, I guess it's back in the main house.
Oh, yeah, I think
Is this a window or a door?
That is a door behind the shower.
You can't get over the yard.
Yeah.
Put a door
Kitchen.
here.
No, we're talking about.
Yeah, that's the doors. Sorry. I didn't put enough details in.
Motion to approve.
Oh, yeah.
Did you make a motion, John?
Val's
Yeah.
motion. All in
Aye.
favor? Aye.
Okay.
And I can say motion to approve the pool too. Is it an auto cover? Or does it have fencing?
I was gonna do a fence around it.
It's all right. It's a wire. It's a metal mesh hidden in the privet or any existing
hidden.
vegetation.
Yep, and I have a white picket on two sides of it.
Perfect.
Okay. I can still say I motion to approve it. And look how nice that is. It's around the backyard. It's not all over the property. And it's a split rail. You don't even need to approve those.
Pool equipment behind the cabana or on the side?
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's hidden. I don't know if I drew it in
we
very
were-
well. It's on like the right side.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's good.
You might see it through the driveway.
This is,
No, driveway's over here.
nice.
That's
Yep.
just measurements.
Oh, picket fence, that's what I was looking at.
Picket fence lines.
Motion to approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Go buy a lottery ticket.
Cool beans. That one. A lot easier than I thought. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
We worked out some of the piss and vinegar before you got here.
Yeah.
So just ignore that.
Sperm
But the
whales.
crabby is still happening.
I'm crab.
Wales, 3 months out of the year.
It's gonna be historic. You're gonna
kids
love
are gonna
it.
I'm embarrassed.
We're making history
It's
right
okay to
now.
have freaking solar panels all over.
I'd rather see that than solar panels.
All over Old South
On the
Road on the
historic
radio.
Wait a minute, I haven't closed yet, I got a comment.
Wait.
If you get on your, but can I just say one thing before you comment? If you get on your pedestal, I'm gonna get on mine.
No
You don't
pedestals.
have a pedestal.
Yeah, that's my point.
All right.
Neither of us do.
Who wants to
Hey,
approve
wait,
the
let me
minutes?
get down here.
What? Who wants to approve the
Kathy?
minutes?
Motion to approve minutes of the 12th and the 19th as revised.
Thank you very much.
Oh, 8 o'clock.
Doesn't feel like 8 o'clock. It's like 11:15.
Were you gonna make a motion to adjourn?
Not yet, I said I gotta make a comment.
Okay, but
One
we've,
comment, we approved 10 houses last week. We approved, heading to approve, 6 this week. Now, last year,
Is this trash?
up until December 31st, last year, we approved, on the average, okay, 10 houses a week. That's 500 houses we've approved of applications for changes in buildings. There's 500 house lots have been, gonna be built on, and there's still plenty of land left.
No.
Millionaires are buying this place up.
but I have to say a lot of these were on the same site, so
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah, I agree.
so they're
My
not.
other comment, the applications, when they come through the office, they need more pictures also of all 4 sides, whether it can be seen or not. Because we make the decision whether it can be seen, not the owner. And they bring in these crazy things, you got 2 hedges, they get over this side, this hedge, you can't see, we gotta get more pictures coming into.
And order scale.
Thank you for those comments, John. I'd like to make a comment also, and that comment is that I think for the first time in history, the HCC has approved a sperm whale.
Yeah, here's another one.
Yeah, I didn't vote for
Here's
that.
another one.
But the commission did.
You don't never listen
So,
to me, do
Abby,
you?
there
Yeah.
was.
I don't need any more
So
pens.
that one you didn't sign. When you signed the other one that you didn't vote for, so that's.
Motion to
I didn't sign the
adjourn.
sperm whale?
No.
Motion to
Well,
adjourn.
I think I should sign it though.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
I don't know what you do in that